Gather round, we got no gods to please. Saturday night, no sermons, just ease. Discussions flow like midnight breeze. No prophets here, just minds to tease. We talk big bangs and evolution. Question faith with our solution. Stars align in our confusion. Breaking free from old illusion. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers. Open hearts and swift deceivers. Make your stand, no hidden levers. Raise your glass to reason's thrill. No ancient text, it's our own will. Debate till dawn, feel golden chill. Saturday night, we've got the skill. Echoes of a godless choir. Like the world was fought the fire. Free our mindset to inspire. No holy walls to take us higher. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers.
Greetings and welcome to the Captive Desk, hosting another Saturday night at the Atheists. And we've got some atheists joining us. We got Brainless here. Hello, Brainless.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
And Mike's here. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Mike.
Am I here?
You are here,
I don't know. Are you?
at least for the moment.
I don't know. Why am I here, though? That's the important question that atheists can't answer.
And I have to ask, did you manifest to the toaster or ketchup bottle level this week?
Oh, yes. Yes, I did. I just saw a wonderful Onion news article about Musk trying to have sex with a toaster. He was rushed to the hospital.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you see that one?
What?
Musk basically wanted to merge man and machine, so he tried to have sex with a toaster in the break room, and they had to rush him to the hospital. Had burns on the lower half of his body, and they couldn't stop him until he finished. You know, they were trying to convince. It's an Onion news article. Do you have the Onion over there?
No, but I know of the Onion.
Okay,
We know the Onion.
Yeah, okay, you know the Onion. Anyway, they're pretty
The Onion was trying to make some really, really good tiers with taking over a certain website, but
Oh, they did it, didn't they?
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if they succeeded in the end, because there was like a lot of legal shit going
yeah.
on.
Yeah, well, they had for a while. You know, for the first few days, it was. Yeah, they might have somehow tried to stop them, but I thought it was pretty cool. So.
And we're getting a nice break in the weather here. Got 40-degree temperatures this week, and
Yeah,
so not bad going into Groundhog Day that way. Yeah.
we got 33, and it's like lightly snowing out there, and the wind is howling, just whistling wickedly, like Satan. I'm thinking demonic possession.
And we got a bunch of folks already dropping in. I see Rochelle here and Commanders here, and of course Brainless dropped in the chat. We've got Spooky in here, Top Tester in here. We got SJ stopping by. Good to see you, SJ. Thanks for stopping by. Stopped by SJ's video earlier.
21 chats.
And what Commander said, why would somebody want to have sex with a toaster? Why the fuck would somebody do the Nazi salute on stage?
Yeah.
They were having fun. They were having fun at Elon's expense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a video out there too where they're singing about Elon and those puppet things that were popular there. I think they come over from over there by you, Brainless.
Bobbleheads.
Those puppet characters, you know, and they're singing about Elon and.
I want an Elon bobblehead.
I don't know which puppets you mean, but
yeah, I'll find it for you later. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a lot of folks are having fun at Elon's expense, and you know, I would laugh along a little more, except every time he blows stuff up, it's a bunch of tax dollars up in smoke.
Yeah.
So
hey, not my tax dollars.
Yeah, ours. Yeah. So it'd be nice if you know, he paid for the ones that blew up, right?
Compared to NASA, how many rockets does he blow up compared to NASA? I mean, I don't hear of too many NASA rockets that blow up anymore.
Right.
But
Well,
Elon's,
he's got.
No,
Yeah.
but there's also, like, I do think I like the fact that they actually showed all the mistakes.
Oh yeah, you don't think they do that with NASA? I don't know.
Well,
If a rocket
he's got his what are they, the Falcon rockets or something like that? Those are the dependable ones. They're just, you know, good old tried and trues, and he did whatever his tweaks to them, but they're tried and true. But he was contracted to build the big lift rocket to go to the moon and Mars and stuff. That's the one he's having problems with. He brings the booster back down, but the part that carries the people, that goes boom.
Yeah, but also he can get Starship into orbit without payload. With payload, it is too heavy, and he will not be able to get it.
That's why he's got a dual rocket plan where he sends one up as a refueling rocket, and then the other one goes up, and then it refuels, and then it has to go from there. And none of that has even been tested.
Refueling is also getting that fuel up in there is also not plausible.
There's a lot of problems with it. So I believe it was supposed to be ready in 25, and that's this year. So we'll see if we can make it.
No. It was supposed to be ready in. He planned to have 4 starships go into space 2024, two crewed and 2 uncrewed.
Well, this was I believe it's to fulfill the contract with the government money, because they want to go to the moon. And I think we talked about it before here, that it looks like the Chinese are real close to putting people back on the Earth. Or back on the moon. Maybe some people on the Earth too, right?
You need some on the Earth too, some people.
They're real close. They're testing their final stuff, you know, where it unfolds and, you know, with a little module to go down and everything. Yeah.
The real problem is Biden administration stopped. You know, he put a moratorium on drilling for oil on the moon, so that, you know, there could be no exploration or drilling for oil on the moon. Yeah,
there you go.
And they really, otherwise we wouldn't have to send that rocket fuel up there, right? We could just, you know, have Shell or somebody.
Whoa. Because I saw this the other day. No, I believe even today, in the ISS, they have been able to produce oxygen and fuel in space with
Ooh, really?
artificial photosynthesis.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, you know,
they have a lot of ideas, but again, we can't even get there right now because the big rocket just doesn't exist right now. So, well, it does, but it ain't gonna make
but
it.
it's not. It doesn't have enough power to get enough stuff into space to be workable.
Yeah.
You know, the creationists were saying that oil really came from rocks, so that there could be oil on the moon. We don't know because, you know, if rocks make it, I mean, it could be a lot of oil on the moon.
Yeah.
Because
if you could go like to some of the if you get out to the moons of some of those gassy planets out there, they got liquid methane and stuff. Yeah, you could fuel up. Yeah, just put a tap in and good to go. Yep. But yeah, we can't get to the moon right now. So as it is, doesn't look like we're gonna get to the moon anytime soon.
Yeah, the problem is
he's talking about going to Mars. It's like, we can't get to the moon, buddy.
Some liberal will find some alien smelt on that moon and they'll prevent drilling for methane.
And mind you, I'm talking about, they can get the probes there because that's a small payload, right? I'm talking about the big lift rocket is where we have the problem.
You know, when they put men on the moon, did you see the technology we had? I mean, the computers were.
They had toggle switches. They had toggle switches.
And toggle switch. And I mean, okay, you're going to put me in a pipe and you're going to light off a bomb underneath me, and I'm going to go to the what, where, and what, and we did it. It's like, holy shit, that was quite an accomplishment, actually.
Yeah, it actually was indeed.
Yeah.
With most of the technologies there, it's just that big lift rocket. You need a lot to carry, like Brainless said, to carry the payload. So far, Elon's carried a banana, and it blew up.
Yeah, no, but also the fun thing is like, what shit? What he said something. Now I was gonna reply to that, but I forgot.
That's all right. Okay. You'll think of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all it's quite interesting, but like Elon, like I think a lot of us at first thought like, oh yeah, Elon, he's got the plans, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that, but like he's slowly shown that he's a fraud. Like even the Teslas, like all the Teslas that are driving out, Elon had shit all to do with it, because
and all the stuff he promises he doesn't deliver. The basic electric car, yes, but everything else, no.
Yeah, but the whole thing about the how you say it, the hyperloop and all that shit, like it's all fake. And like the Teslas, he bought Tesla. All those cars were designed and modeled and ready to be built when he bought Tesla. He had nothing to do with those cars. The only car he had anything to do with.
He's not firing people through tubes or anything yet. But it's just like an air hockey table. It's not that hard.
Oh, and if you want to know how much of a fake Elon is, go watch Thunderfoot.
Oh yeah,
like especially like his last video on Elon. It covers it all, how he wants, because there's people that bought the new Tesla Roadster, which is not going to get built.
It doesn't exist.
They're not getting their refundable deposit back.
Nope.
No shit.
And the same thing with the trucks.
He's a fucking scam artist.
Yeah, people paid for those self-driving taxis years ago, and they don't exist yet. They put money up front for the semis, for the truck things he's got. Of course, some people got those. The Roadster doesn't exist yet, and
son's got a Tesla. And
Good deal.
yesterday he said I got to get a bumper sticker saying that I don't support Musk on the back of my Tesla because he bought it before he knew who Musk was.
Yeah, I'm not knocking electric cars or anything like that. A lot of people like their Teslas. The stuff though that he tries to invent himself it's just silly garbage.
He has invented nothing himself.
Yeah.
He bought ideas and then he twisted it to get government funding, and then he did fuck all with it.
Yep. I say the electric cars and everything, great stuff, all that. And, I do like that he, does space stuff, and I was encouraged because I think there should be more and more competition, and that will help drive the technology and everything else. Mm-hmm. But he seems to be just blowing up a lot of tax dollars, and people that support him don't understand that NASA and stuff, they would they bolt the rockets to the ground and test them. You know what I mean? You make sure your stuff works before you blow it up all over the place.
Yeah, well, that was a marketing, and I think that was actually pretty good marketing. And I still really like SpaceX. Like what they do is cool. It's cool shit. But he hardly has any shit to do with it, man.
We got Skeptical of Everything joining us. Welcome.
Scott Duke can't join.
They know Rochelle. Yeah, Scott's under the weather.
A cow kicked him in the nuts, and his voice is really high and really
no.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to joke.
I hope you feel better soon, Scott. And Top Tester's joining, and Jin is here. Spooky's here. Hello, everybody.
The spook.
I stopped over, had a few chats made by Jim Bob today about the scientific method. Yeah.
You got your dose, huh?
I got my dose. I always managed to go over there and ask him about the scientific method.
Did you get on, or were you just in the chat?
No, I was hoping he'd put a link out because I was kind of primed to go in and talk to him about it. But he's he got a 7th grade education in science, and he's got an 8th grade education in philosophy, and somehow he knows more than all of those philosophers of science, right? And philosophers of biology like Alex Rosenberg, and he figured out that evolution isn't a real scientific theory. And
that's why I got my extra brain here tonight.
Yeah.
I figured I needed extra brain because, we're a bunch of dum-dums. So I got extra brain.
When the book's coming out, because hell, he could sell a lot of books with that idea.
Absolutely.
Scientific theory, because you can't observe it. What's the observation?
We can observe it. It has been observed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like talking to a wall. It's really bad.
It isn't about observing evolution happening exactly. It's about observing all of the mechanisms that are responsible for evolution, and it's about that and induction. Induction is a really important part of the scientific theory. I don't know if we knew that or not.
And they like to pull, explain all of evolution to me. Go ahead, you got 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then start with the Big Bang. Start asking me about
start with the Big Bang. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck biology has to do with the Big Bang?
Give you an extra 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah,
and speaking of, we've got this. I got a little. Let's see.
Reverend
tonight we
Schwartley.
have Reverend Schwartley, or at Pastor. Yeah, Schwartley. Now this guy's very busy. He has 1,300 subs, but he has 1,400 videos. Yeah, he's very busy.
Busy.
And as Rochelle found out, his comments is turned off. When the comments are turned off, that's always like, oh, they got the comments turned off.
Are they
right?
on all his videos are turned off? All of them?
Apparently, I didn't look at every one of them, but and this
he doesn't do live, does he?
I don't know. I just stumbled across it.
Yeah, I don't think he does any live. No,
And,
he has no live. Yeah, it's just all him with his little suit.
And
It's got him back. It goes back to when he was like 8 years old, I think. Some really old videos.
Yeah, well, he's got an about section there, and his about section says, Reverend Schwartley, if I'm pronouncing that right. If not, forgive me, but has been a guest preacher at over a dozen RPCNA, I don't know what that is, and other Reformed churches across the country. That Scott would probably know what that is. Pastor Schwartley has also been a featured speaker at the Puritan Project Conference in Brazil, Greenville Seminary Worship Conference, etc., a bunch of conferences. He seems to speak at conferences. Pastor Schwartley was received as a teaching elder in the Reformed Presbyterian Church in the United States in January 2001 and served as the organizing pastor of Chalcedon, 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 anyway, hard to pronounce Christian church in
Haslett, Michigan.
In Haslett, Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan, Michigan. He is now serving as pastor in, this is the name of the site and his channel and everything and stuff.
He's now serving
Covenanted, this is another hard word, covenanted, like covenant, but with a tid. Covenanted, Reformed, covenanted. And they made stuff hard to say. This is rough on me. Dang it. All right, having problems.
That's why they have Sunday school to teach you how to pronounce the name of the church.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, he started 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. You can watch him, he's all 11.
Yeah. This is in Texas.
Holy shit. He used to have his hair parted in the middle.
And he's got like that lift going on.
I used to have it parted in the middle. That's really frightening.
And so the title of the video is that he don't like Sam Harris, and it caught my eye. Is Sam Harris an ignorant fool? Okay, and that's what caught my eye, obviously. So I went listening, and he doesn't seem to like anybody. He doesn't like other faiths or atheists or Sam Harris or some other folks I seen he did videos about as well. So yeah, he's got a lot of videos, and comments were turned off as well, and that always invites somebody.
13 years ago, he had one called "Is It a Sin to Be in the Liberal Church?" Part 1, and then he has Halloween Part 1 and Part 2. We had to check some of his old ones out sometime.
I was going to say he's got a lot of stuff over there. So. And some of these other ones we've looked at. So we've got a bunch of revisits we can always do on some of these folks. And we're going to have to check back in with Wayne about the whole toaster thing, because, I tried, and Brainless, didn't you say you tried with your radio or something?
What?
Was that you that told me you practiced with your radio to try and get the song on the radio?
Yeah, what song? I'm sorry, I'm not completely following.
Maybe it wasn't you.
Yeah.
Anyway, somebody said they tried manifesting a song on the radio.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Was that you?
On my playlist, yeah.
Okay, that was you. All right, well, pay attention, Brainless. And the song didn't come on the radio.
It was so stupid. I kind of forgot.
So the song didn't manifest, and I've not reached the level of ketchup bottle nor toaster. So If anybody in the chat did, if you watched last week and you tried manifesting and you manifested, let us know, because we haven't had any luck.
I manifested a ribeye steak.
And if you missed it, you'll have to go back and watch last week's show, and you'll find out why that we're probably going to revisit Wayne, because he was a lot of fun to take a look at. And we got Drusilla here. We have Keiko here. We have Jedi here. We got Esther here. We got Bruh. Let's see who else. Deacon Verted Man. What's up? Bunch of folks stopping by. Good to see everybody.
Nice peoples.
And yeah, so he has a high opinion of himself, and I think he's got everything all figured out, and he's going to let us know what it's all about. Mike, I think I already had a sneak peek on him. We got a whole bunch of people joining. Hello, everybody. Theo and Wesley and Christ Crusader. Good to have everybody here. So let's get into it and start this video, because it's really long and we don't have a good reputation of getting through videos here at Saturday Night at the Atheist. And this one's long. So cross our fingers. We'll see how much we can get into it.
Oh my God, they timed me out. What the fuck?
Oh no, the live event is over. I was going to post on Jim Bob's that we're doing a video on Jim Bob over here.
Oh,
we're not.
Hey, Top Dog, how you doing?
I thought we'd pull a John Maddox on him. Because the John Maddox thing was excellent. It's like, wow, they didn't even talk about me.
Proverbs 26:11-12, and our topic
don't care
is Sam Harris, an ignorant fool, a study regarding the absurdity of modern atheism. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I know it's kind of a bizarre topic, but these atheist apologists, he falls into the camp. There's like four major ones. Hawkins.
His name's not Hawkins. And I put Jesus up here because he keeps looking over that way. Keeps looking over that way. And I don't know who he's talking to, but so I put Jesus on there so he had somebody to talk to. But his name is Dawkins. Dawkins, not Hawkins. That's Stephen Hawking. It's Richard Dawkins. All right. He's going to be talking to Jesus. I thought it was funny. If you don't think it's funny, I thought it was funny.
And they all say almost the same things. This one's a little different, and he tries to argue for objective ethics. But we're going to look at this and show you that these arguments these people use are absolutely ridiculous.
All right. Absolutely ridiculous. Here we go.
As a dog returns to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly.
Gross. Peter Pan, how you doing? Phantom, hello.
Hey, Peter.
Where dogs return into our vomit. This is off to a good start.
Do you see a man wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. It's a perfect description of Sam Harris, if you know who he is. Super popular on YouTube.
Is he?
I don't know how big he is on YouTube, but I know he gives, he does speaking engagements and gets paid really well for it. And he's an author as well. So he's not just a YouTuber. Nothing wrong with being a YouTuber, but not just a YouTuber.
Well, there's a lot wrong with being a YouTuber. Shit, man.
Yeah, I know.
Have you seen some of those fuckers?
I know.
Especially those
take a lot of flack. And us atheist YouTubers are really dum-dums, because that's why I got to have my extra brain here, because
Sam Harris is one of the four horsemen atheism.
If you think you're gonna change those theists' minds, then you're dumb.
Well, Jim Bob calls us dum-dums, as Mike was just talking about. And I don't know if this guy calls us dum-dums, but I'm pretty sure he's going to use some
If he's not calling us that, he probably does think it.
Something with a lot of "you're a fool, you're a fool, you're a fool." I think we're going to get a fool vibe. Hello, Chris. How you doing? Reverb. How you doing? Peter. Hey, Peter W. How you doing? Good to see you.
One of the most popular apologists for atheism is Sam Harris. Harris does a few things in his argumentation against theism that are considered brilliant and thus are quite popular with other atheists. And they all do the same things. They criticize the Bible, they criticize the God of the Bible, etc. In this study, we're going to analyze Harris's arguments and see if they are valid, solid, weighty arguments.
Okay, we're going to see if those are actually his arguments.
Yep, or he's going to weigh the
Probably
arguments
not.
here. Yep, and he's going to destroy them all.
Yeah.
They're going to be destroyed. All of Sam are.
Hey,
What I don't know what he's reading here, but I think he mentions it. We'll see here. Hello, Samami. How you doing?
However, there are a number of things that we need to note before we proceed with specific arguments. First, in the study, we are defending Bible-believing Orthodox Christianity. We're defending Christian theism, not theism in general.
Okay, this is Christian theism. All right, so he's not being.
But is he on something? Because like it's movements is.
He's full of it. I told you, he's busy. Got things to do, man.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
In addition, we are not defending corrupt heretical communions that call themselves Christians. There's all sorts of crazy denominations. And this point is important because there are theists, for example, Islam, the cults, the Pharisaical Judaism, that believe all sorts of crazy and evil things that have absolutely nothing to do with the Bible.
Okay. All the other ones believe in a bunch of crazy stuff that has nothing to do with the Bible. Well, first of all, if you follow another religion, you're not following the Bible, probably, right? I mean,
but like that's also like a thing with Christianity. There's so many different sects within Christianity that
Bibles,
it is almost impossible to say you're Christian and like be done with it. Like if you're a Christian, you got to explain which kind of Christian you are.
Right. And the Presbyterians, I think they have some kind of a structure with, there are men that do interpret. I'm not sure if they're like Greek or like the Orthodox Church, where they have all these other writings, right, that you have to, that have been written in the last 2,000 years. They have to adhere to as well, I think.
Yep.
There's like we need Scott in here to straighten us out on the real truth. But
I know we're lacking on our theology expert tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I lack theology because you know what? I really don't care.
Somebody coughed on Scott and ruined everything.
He got kicked in the junk.
And, got kicked in the junk. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, his voice is really
better
squeaky.
Story.
Yeah, really squeaky.
It's a better story.
Yeah.
Roll of the D. Hello. And Haktua.
So what's wrong with Harris's arguments? What's wrong with Harris's arguments?
All right, we're going to find out.
Moreover, their teachings are easily disproved by biblical and non-biblical sources, for example, archaeology, logic, and so forth, and the Bible, of course. Mormonism, Scientology, Islam, these things are very easy to disprove. And so what they do is they lump Christianity in with all these crazy religions and treat it the same way, which is fallacious.
I want to hear his arguments for debunking those.
Yeah.
Because I think 99% of those will be applicable to his brand of Christianity.
He already did, because the Bible says that all the other religions are ridiculous. So there you go.
So when these assholes talk about logic, I just want to point out when they say, "Oh, it's proven with logic." You prove things with logic. The only thing you prove with logic is a form of mathematics, and the only thing you can prove with logic is if A, B, C, etc. are true, right? A, like, is A true? That's what you prove with logic. You don't prove anything else about the world with logic alone. Do you understand that? You have to have A stand for something, and that is the problem. What you choose to have A stand for involves something other than mathematical logic. So when these idiots say, "Oh, it's just logical," it's just like they're lying to you. That isn't how shit works. Logic is mathematics, pure and simple. And yes, it has proofs. It's one of the few places we do have proofs.
But isn't logic already in the Bible?
I don't think so. I don't know. They have and or, not in there.
There's all kind of logical things in the Bible, right? It's all perfectly logical.
Bonfire logic. God made all the animals. Yeah.
And all those animals went on a pleasure cruise.
Oh yeah, they all went out. Well, not all of them. So a lot of them went extinct. Like, why did God make so many extinct animals? I never figured that one out.
It's like Elon. He just keeps blowing stuff up.
Yeah, I figured that was it. It's like, okay, let me try this again. Okay, Tyrannosaurus Rex. This time it's going to work. So I want to make them bigger. I'm going to make them meaner, give them bigger teeth. And oh shit, he died. Anyway, okay. We still haven't got an argument, have we?
Harris and other atheist apologists lump biblical Christianity with all other religions and therefore can appeal to the Taliban, who rape, murder, torture, and pillage as empirical proof that all religions are evil and bad. And they're the basic thesis of the modern atheist. And this,
oh, shit.
That's exactly what Christianity used to do.
Yeah. Well, no, not real Christians.
But in the 20th century, we have
real Christians don't do it. Yeah. Chris knows he can always stop by. I always tell folks if they're free, just let me know, and we'll get them on. So, yeah. Well, we'll probably have Chris on again. Just he does a lot of shows, so he could be doing a show somewhere right now. As a matter of fact, he's been getting around. So
this became quite popular just in the last 20 years. Is religion's really bad and evil and leads to war and all kinds of suffering. We all need to become atheists and become scientific and follow logic and reason, and everything will be fine.
Well, doesn't sound too awfully terrible.
Yeah, we could.
We could try it,
As long as we read it right.
And of course, I'll get to that the ethical argument later. But it's a very, given history, it's kind of a surprising argument in that atheists murdered over 100 million people in the 20th century.
Did we know?
I didn't do nothing. No. Now, these arguments are always really hard to do as far as who killed more people. It's
right.
Terrible people kill terrible people. Whatever they call themselves doesn't really matter.
There were some.
Well, nobody beats God at body count.
No, if you're using your religion as a justification, then there's an argument for it. But there's plenty of arguments that there's been a lot of terrible people and they had different beliefs, and it's always a tough argument. Who killed more people? It's like, well, it's whataboutism, right? Well, you killed 1 million more than we did, right? It's like, well, it's not a good argument. I don't see how it's a good win for your side. That, well, we didn't quite kill as many as you did, right?
Yeah, I don't really care about that argument. It's just What I do care about is if you believe crazy shit, then you could possibly kill people because you believe crazy shit, and religion is crazy shit. So the reason, if you can believe there's some kind of fluttering fairy in the sky that created the universe, then you can believe any goddamn thing, and some of those things are dangerous, and that's the problem I have with religion.
Such reasoning is unfair and fallacious. The Bible is unique in that it is the only religious document in existence that is self-authenticating and merits faith.
Is it really?
It's self-authenticating?
Self-authenticating. Well, it says right in there that it's true.
It's self-authenticating?
Is there anywhere in the Bible where it says the Bible is true? Listen to this. This is true.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, it's self-authenticating. I like that.
What if it's
that's all you do? You write a book, and right in the beginning page, the foreword there, you put
everything in this book is true.
Everything in this book is true because this book says so. And there you go.
But you know what they should have done? You know what they should have done? It really would have messed people up. Everything in this book is false.
Oh yeah. Well, see, there's the argument: is the devil deceiving everybody? Right? Maybe they got it wrong. So who knows?
What better deception is there to than pretend that you're a good God,
or to get people to follow the wrong religion?
Right. Yeah, maybe it's Satan wrote the Bible. How do they know?
Be fooling everybody.
Circular illogic. Reverb 20. We have people I've never seen before. You guys should go over to Answers in Atheism and subscribe right now.
That's right.
I need
Everybody subscribe to Mike's channel, Answers in Atheism. Everybody subscribe to my channel that isn't subscribed. Everybody's welcome here in the chat to have the discussions rolling along here. Yeah, as long as we're all, we're here to have a good time, have some laughs, it's all good. Everybody stop by, have some laughs with us, all right?
And we're going to look at their argument and say, oh, well, the Bible accepts slavery. The Bible accepts a very specific kind of slavery, very different than what was in the South.
That doesn't matter. Any fucking kind of slavery is fucking evil, you stupid cunt.
And it's wrong anyways. There's both types of slavery. They'll always excuse it that it just indentured servitude and you were let out after so many years. But if anybody wants to look into it, no, there's a whole bunch of exceptions to those rules, and there was slavery as we think of it, where you could go to another country, you could take people as property, you could hand them down as property to your heirs. Property, other people. That is not indentured servitude. This argument is only taking half that part of the directions and leaving out the other half.
Yeah, they're really butthurt about that slavery thing, that because they don't know what to do with it, so they got to come up with all this bullshit. It's like, well, God had to talk to them in terms of what the culture was back then, which was enslaving people. God had to be gentle with them.
Yeah. It's the problem is thou shalt nots, right? You've got a bunch of thou shalt nots, but we'll just make rules for the slavery thing.
But if they coveted their neighbor's butt, he either shot and blew him up with fire, turned him into stone, or drowned him in a flood. But he couldn't say, slavery, same thing, man. So, but don't do that. But no, he had to go along with
Rex.
Rochelle, I've noticed a few things there. Yeah, if you think it's inappropriate, you can take care of it. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have inappropriate?
Get that later.
Yeah, I mean, hard to tell. I don't like to jump to conclusions, but
No, it's constantly posting the same and then getting timed out and coming in as someone under a different name and continuing.
Okay. All right.
Oh, gay. Well,
I trust your judgment. I trust your judgment, Rochelle. You take care of it. Hey, Brojo, how you doing?
Jesus Christ and genuine Christianity is the only hope of the world and the only hope for modern man.
Really?
All religions in the world except biblical Christianity are false, evil, damning, and satanic.
Holy shit. Tell us how you feel.
Oh boy.
Oh, so Hinduism and Buddhism are satanic? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because
got you.
they believe in Satan, apparently.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Oh, for people who don't know, this guy has a whole series on why we should have Christian nationalism.
Oh
Basically,
boy.
he's got a 6-part series on Christian nationalism. Yeah.
We're doing it all wrong. He's got, I said, I knew he had it all figured out. So
He does have it all figured out.
I don't think he gets it all into this one video, obviously, but he's got it all figured out. He's got the answers. He just doesn't want you to leave a comment.
He's got the answers to the questions nobody's asking, I guess.
But if you do want to get to him, his older videos do have the comments turned on. So if you scroll way down, if you got the patience to scroll for about a half an hour, you'll get down 13 or 14 years.
I didn't have that much patience.
I'm working on it, man. There's a lot of good shit back there. For one thing, his hair's parted down the middle, and that's a treat.
Oh yeah, looking around, I did notice that. Yeah, he's been doing it for a while because his hairstyles change.
Yeah. You can watch his style change as you scroll through, in his different suits and stuff. Yeah, different trends. Yeah. Anyway, I love it.
Well, and the Satanism wearing the red shirt and everything too. It's like
you can watch him evolve. You can watch him evolve by going all the way to the bottom and scrolling
But
up.
evolution
maybe
is
the
fake.
hairstyle is hiding the bumps. The two bumps.
From the horns, yeah, maybe it might be.
In addition, we acknowledge that professing Christians through the centuries have professed and done many things that are inconsistent with the teaching of Scripture.
Really? Okay, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Thank you.
This is the no true Scotsman, right? That's what he's gonna throw here. So.
Yep.
We do not judge Jesus Christ or the Bible based on the errors or the unbiblical actions of professing Christians. The Bible is perfect, inspired, infallible, inerrant. Christians are errant, fallible, and oftentimes even stupid.
All right.
Who wrote the
Yeah.
And so the stupid, inerrant people wrote the book, and
Yeah.
that's not a winning argument either. I don't know.
They were smart when they wrote the book, and then after that they got real dumb. Right?
Yep, forgot it all.
Yep.
And modern evangelicals intellectually are an embarrassment because they don't believe doctrine is important, and they don't study, and I know somebody who was at a book conference, they don't know the Lord's Prayer, they don't know the Ten Commandments. I mean, it's embarrassing.
I think I even know the Lord's Prayer. 'Cause I go to
Is that the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
No, it's a different.
Though I walk through the valley.
Okay, it's our Father. Our
Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Okay, get this.
Forgive us this day our trespasses. I know what it is.
My sponsor,
Okay,
my sponsor always wanted me to start the Lord's Prayer and say, "Our Father who art in heaven," and so he would stop and wait for me to start it when we were in a circle, and so I'd say, "Yo, Mama, who art in heaven," and then he stopped doing that. or I would say, "The Buddha who art in heaven," or something, because I was a conscientious objector. Anyway.
All right. Well, I know a prayer. So, all right. I had to, I wasn't, I probably blew it there saying the wrong one, but yeah, but I know it if you get me started.
Yeah, I think I could do it if you. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can't do it in English, but I'm in Dutch. I might be capable of still doing it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons a lot of Christians left our secular AA meeting is because we decided not to do the Lord's Prayer at the end, and they didn't like that part. So
Well,
like I said,
we're
we
we're
made, yeah.
we're one up on all the Christians that he was talking to there that couldn't do it. So how about that? And we can do it internationally in other or what, bilingually. All right, internationally bilingually. So take that. Your Christian peers need to bone up.
So this section is called Misleading, Dishonest Statements, Epistemological Incoherence and Inconsistencies. Second,
Okay.
the manner in which Harris and other atheists, and they all do this, set up their argumentation against Christian theism is inconsistent and fallacious.
Explain how.
We are told that science deals with facts.
It tries to, yeah.
Yep, we try. Yeah.
But and
There are
the facts,
facts.
the facts versus what? Right, here it comes. Facts, right? Facts versus what? Okay, here it comes.
Fable.
And Christianity deals with faith.
Aha. So he's separating fact from faith.
Fact and faith. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I have faith in facts.
This assertion is not true
Oh,
and
it's
is
not
very
true.
misleading.
Okay.
In what
He
way?
assumes like
Hey, my bad. My bad.
Mr. Schwartzler, tell me how.
It's misleading. That's right. He's going to fill us in because we got it all wrong. Okay.
that one must limit reason to make room for faith. The assumption here is that science gives us truths that have been proven empirically, while the Christian faith is based on that which is irrational and not provable.
Some things, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty irrational and pretty unprovable.
Yeah.
By definition.
This again,
it's unprovable.
yeah, this again doesn't mean you can't find names of people that may have existed, or cities that existed, or rivers that existed, any of that stuff. Sure, that can be in there. But
So,
any of
given
the
the
supernatural stuff, like when the waters part and stuff, that's different. Go ahead.
given the framework that they believe in, there's only one entity that could prove Christianity or prove Judaism, and that is God himself could come down and prove it to us. But he doesn't want to do that because I don't know why. Why did he want to do that?
We got Jesus listening here.
That would
Reverend's-
ruin all the fun if he did that, because then he wouldn't be able to drown, the entire world. He wouldn't be able to, sacrifice goats, and he wouldn't be able to do any of the fun stuff if he just came down and showed us all who he was.
I don't know. I don't know if he's got two cameras or if he's looking at somebody else or what he's doing, but it just was bothering me that he kept looking over there when he was talking,
He's looking at
over
his
there
goat.
when he was
Yeah.
talking. And so I've got my pop-up Jesus. So I was like, I couldn't resist. So I put pop-up
Yep.
Jesus on there.
And therefore, their concept of faith is kind of an irrational leap in the dark. That is not the biblical concept of faith.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe this either.
The biblical
believe it.
concept of faith, now we haven't seen God, but the proof for God is there.
Right. Well, you
The
haven't seen him,
biblical concept of faith is we haven't seen God, but he's
but the
there.
proof- But the proof is there. What is the proof? Is he going to tell us?
All right. Let's see. Trying to follow along.
Logic. He's going to use logic to prove it.
All right.
Well, it's true that
Logic
Christians
coming.
believe in
Okay.
what they have not personally seen because of the testimony of Scripture. The evidence for the existence of the infinite personal God of the Bible is overwhelming.
Okay.
And I'll add a footnote later, but the Bible's the only book full of prophecies that are extremely
Oh no.
Oh, the prophecies. Oh,
The
no.
prophecies. Oh, terrible argument.
The Quran has no prophecies, right?
Yeah. No other texts have prophecies in them. Prophecies are terrible. And speaking of prophecies, I have a video on my channel. And if you can give me a prophecy that happens after you tell me with a what, where, and when, let me know on the comments underneath the video where I put the offer out there, because I would like to see a prophecy from any text, religious or not, that happens after you tell me. That would be amazing. That would be something I would have to say, wow, right? You told me a what, where, and a when. So far, it hasn't happened. And I've asked people on other channels, and they couldn't give it to me either. The Muslim apologists nor the Christian apologists could give me any prophecies that happen after they tell me with a what, where, and a when. Other than you're going to die and find out, or I guess that's their only answer. So
I prophesy that prices are going to go up in the next couple of months. We'll see how that turns out. I wrote that down. I just wrote that down in my elbow.
There you go.
Prices are going to go up.
And we're going to test the Jim Bob in another year and 11 months.
Oh, yeah, to find out if all of science accepts intelligence.
ID. Yep. The clock's ticking. We got it wrote down.
Explicit that have all been fulfilled perfectly. The Bible's the only religious.
No, they haven't been fulfilled perfectly. And a lot of these prophecies I and other folks have done, there's probably thousands of videos on these prophecies. First of all, a lot of them are wrong. I believe Scott and I were talking about the Isaiah prophecies. Was that in his video or when he was with us? Either way.
Were those Jesus prophecies or whatever?
That's, yeah, it's supposed to be Jesus as the suffering servant, but no, the suffering servant is Israel. And then, no, they're not. And there's a problem with prophecies. They can be read many different ways to mean different things, and they have been over the years. Different things have happened, and they would say, aha, see, that's that Bible prophecy. And then time would pass, and they would say, well, maybe not, right?
Who is that? Like, I don't know if it was like 100 years ago or more. There was some famous prophesier. What the hell was his name? And he had all kinds of prophecies, and people went nuts over him.
Nostradamus.
You know Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have two.
Yeah,
I got two of his books up on my shelf.
I think his batting average was better than the Bible. I don't know.
And again, yeah, when you read those things, you can read a lot of different things into it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different interpretations. And well, see, there's the clue right there, right? A couple different people read it and they get different things out of it. It doesn't help you much. That's why I ask for a what, a where, and a when. If you can give those three specifics, you know, I think that would be pretty good. I mean, if you can make that triple hit on a prediction, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't think he's going to have any of those, though.
Book that has been proven factual by archaeological evidence.
No.
And of course, it accounts for the fossil record.
Oh, he threw that in there.
What
the
Bible
accounts for the fossil record.
Where does it talk about that in the Bible? I didn't know about that part.
I missed it too.
There will be bones buried in the ground, and we will dig them up, and they will be giganticeth.
And they will worketh them from the rocketh.
They will have a tail like a cedar tree.
And so forth, catastrophism and so forth. The heavens declare the glory of God, Psalm 19:1. The universe points us to the eternal power of the Creator, Romans 1:18-20.
Uh-oh.
Now, if we speak of science in a very limited way,
why would you do that?
As doing repeatable experiments that force one to come to certain conclusions about reality.
Really? They force you?
Man, we'll give it. I mean, well, yeah, if you change your mind,
right.
Gentle force.
My first science experiment was poking myself in the eye when I was like 1 month old. That was my first science experiment.
Well, and I often speak, with the moderates, even folks like William Lane Craig. I just heard somebody else talking about him. He doesn't butt up against the science, right? he fits his theology inside of what is known. Okay.
Yeah.
This is just, I'm pretty sure he's definitely a creationist. Maybe that's
Craig,
hard to remember.
I think he's a theistic evolution.
No, not Craig. This guy here. I'm not sure if he's a young earther or not. I don't remember, but
yeah, I don't know.
He definitely doesn't like science. So
nope.
Okay, these are things that you can observe and you can repeat and you can repeat and you get the same outcome, and then you can come to logical conclusions. If you don't take vitamin C for several months, you'll get scurvy.
Yep.
Well, this next part,
If you-
I have questions. Go ahead.
Okay.
You put a cat in a box and don't have it see any light for 4 months, it'll go blind. Things like
I
Okay.
didn't know that. I'm going to try that.
4 months.
Now I looked for this, and I couldn't find anything that said if you put a cat in the dark for 4 months that it'll go blind.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know.
I did find something about newborn kittens being kept in the dark
Right.
can get
Yeah,
eye
yeah.
damage because their eyes don't develop fully. Okay, but
Well,
Yeah,
that's the
I
same with
couldn't
any
find.
animal. Or
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
any
the
couldn't
mammal.
same as with the horses that they used to use in the mines.
Mm,
No,
The-
basically, there's a window of development for your eyes when right after you're born, and
Yeah.
if you don't hit that window, if you're kept in the dark for the first year, it is unlikely that your vision will ever properly form because
Right.
of the way.
But also,
neurons
like, then why are all these Christians seeing? Because like they seem to all been kept in the dark.
Okay, Google. I started
Heyo.
typing. It. If you put a cat in a box, and Google suggested, "Is it dead or alive?" Well, it depends. It depends on the cat, I think. I don't know. Anyway.
yeah. So, if anybody else knows anything about that, let me know. I couldn't
Yeah,
find
he's-
anything. I think that's not true. So,
Okay, he had it wrong because he's got a 7th grade science or a 5th grade science education, so we pretty much know that.
because that one hit me, because these are the kind of things I say, I'm gonna look that up. If you put a cat in a box, does it go blind? No, it doesn't go blind. So okay,
It's a shitty experiment, but it
don't
is
do it.
interesting.
Don't do it. Yeah, it's already. You can already look it up. Don't do it. It doesn't work.
Apparently, it's
So,
already done. So if you do it now, you're just plain evil.
yeah, do not do that. No, it's already done and over with. That time has passed. Medically, you can argue things were necessary in the time for that kind of testing, but that time is pretty much past. So let's leave the animals alone, right? Okay.
that. Things that you can observe and repeat over and over and over again. That's how they discovered vitamins and all these things. This is empirical science, and it's
Okay.
based on repeated observation, repeated experiment, and findings that can be proved empirically. You can actually observe these things over and over. They're
Okay.
repeatable.
All right. I don't see a problem.
Yep.
Good to go. Okay.
Show me the Bible.
And the reason we can know these things is because you're just dealing with surface knowledge. We're not dealing with theory or things that are where you're speculating.
Surface knowledge. Okay.
So science can give us certain surface truths or observations about reality. I call them surface truths. They don't get into the why behind things. But much of what modern science does is highly theoretical and has absolutely nothing to do with real facts or the truth.
What?
Here
Did he
you go,
say?
Mike.
What
It said it's all theoretical
What the fuck?
and has nothing to do with the facts or the truth.
So if I pour vinegar on some baking soda, that's not a fact that I'm going to get bubbles.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
No, not a fact.
Nope.
It's surface
Look.
truth. It doesn't explain why I get bubbles, right? Oh, yes, it does explain why you get bubbles.
No, it's all because you have to manifest it, Mike. You have to want the fizz to happen, or it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You're not manifesting, Mike. You're supposed to be more in the moment than we are. You've been practicing this stuff.
Yeah, you
Let me
need to
get
manifest a bit more. Practice
Let
harder.
me get a couple grams of shrooms out here and I'll manifest something.
It's gonna manifest all over the place.
Manifest destiny.
You need to learn this.
Okay.
It is more akin to a religious faith than a true factual description of reality.
Really? Really? Okay, hold on. So, it's probably, okay. So if you step out in front of a bus and the bus is going 60 miles an hour and you die, that's not a fact. That's just surface truth or what? What is he saying exactly?
He's saying that he's stupid.
Brainless, cut right to the chase. We'll see.
Okay,
We'll see. He's got plenty. There's so much here. We're never going to get through it all. Let's not get too burned out.
Okay, I got the transcript.
And this point is especially true when we speak about macroevolutionary theory, which is actually completely inconsistent with the evidence.
No, it isn't.
Okay. Macroevolutionary theory. All right. As from my viewpoint as a layperson, you can't get any more macro than a new species. Right. You can witness new species, and they have witnessed new species come into being as new species. There you go. Mike?
Yep.
Yeah, but they're talking about, forming a limb where there wasn't a limb and all that stuff. And there's a whole bunch of there's a whole bunch of induction to evolution, basically. When we're looking at the tree of life, we're looking at the diversity of life today. There's a lot, but inside of that, okay, the method of getting from a fish to a tetrapod, something with 4 limbs, is a whole bunch of small steps that we can verify in the lab today. And they call that microevolution. And it's like, okay.
No. Bad, Pastor. Not a good argument. Not impressive so far.
Mr. Shortly.
The universe evolved from a singularity. And then there's chemical evolution where things...
Chemical
evolution.
Not evolution.
I don't have my Hawaiian shirt on.
Chemical evolution?
I don't have my...
You don't have your Hawaiian shirt, but I can pull them up.
Where's Austin? We need the Hoven impersonator. Where's Austin at? Maybe.
At least
there we go. Yeah, thank you, Brainless. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm smelling the 6 or 7 evolutions or something.
Yeah, evolved and started producing complex proteins and amino acids, and these evolved into life. None of these things have been observed. This is all pure speculation, and it's speculation that completely goes against what modern science actually knows.
And you know what science knows because?
He's saying the majority of the scientists that agree on these things that are in these fields are also saying there's no evidence for it. I don't see how that adds up.
Yeah, he's going to talk about the James Webb Telescope in a minute, but he's going to call it the Hubble.
Yeah, he blew that too. I noticed that. He
blows a whole bunch of shit in here.
He only pays half attention, I think. So
yeah,
both
we know that
pieces of science technology.
And some things catch his eye, and that's about it. Yeah, I don't think he read any further.
The Hubble Space Telescope. Now we know that the theory of the Big Bang resulting in the evolution of galaxies and so forth, we know that that's false now.
Right. Yeah,
no.
Sure. The Hubble telescope, you asshole. It's like
it's the James Webb.
And the only thing it says is that their models were off about galaxy formation, and they have a little more thinking to do. Nobody is throwing the Big Bang out.
Yeah, wasn't it the fact that they thought galaxies got created much more often and faster?
Yeah, it was earlier than they thought. Yeah.
Earlier than they thought.
Which, you know what? That's why they put the James Webb Space Telescope up there. So they could find these things out.
Figure this shit out, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, they were wrong. And it's like, well, no, there was more like, they were best guess, right, with what data they had. And when they got better data, they said, oh, well, we're going to have to adjust our data a little bit. So they had to give it another, was it 500 million years or something, whatever it was.
Yeah, they're working on different models of basically had a lot to do. Of course, I don't know shit about this, but it had a lot to do with, I think, the granularity of the very early universe, like a fraction of a second after the proverbial Big Bang, which is not really a thing. Something like that. They have to adjust these models basically to account for what they're seeing with the James Webb, not the Hubble, you asshole. Get at least get the telescope right.
Mixed up the telescopes. Jason Lyle was big about, see, this matches all the predictions I had made, so now creationism is right. And I did a little fact checking on it, and I talked to Grayson about it and got some input from it. And yeah, what he was saying is the same thing as he's saying. Oh, well, the creationists were right. Everything was formed like at the same time, right? They want to get like the universe was just made, right?
Yeah.
And so that because these things were pushed back a little bit, that means that they're right somehow. That was actually when the whole universe was made or something like that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Because they can't have the universe continually being made, right? They have to have the universe was made, right?
Yeah, that would be star evolution, right? We don't believe in macro star evolution, right?
So I think he's maybe, some of that Jason Lyle stuff, because that's what it sounds like. And
we've never created.
He's not legitimate or anything.
We've never created a star in the laboratory. I don't know if you know that or not, but man has never recreated a star in the laboratory.
I'm working on it.
Yep, we created some small ones.
But stars aren't made in a laboratory. Stars are made on a stage.
Oh,
yeah. There you go.
See, we're looking in the wrong places again.
Yep.
There's fully deformed, very large galaxies way out there. They're not supposed to be there.
Way out there.
No. It wasn't that they weren't supposed to be there. They got the ages.
No, they were there.
Yeah.
According to the presuppositions. But they won't admit that their theory is wrong because the alternative is belief in God.
No, it wasn't a theory.
No.
It's not a theory to find out the proper age of something.
But also like if that is incorrect, then
you
I
have
don't
to
know,
believe
like then we gotta figure out what it is. It's not like, oh well, we messed up the first time, must be God.
This is a creationist tactic.
That is literally God of the gaps.
Every time science learns something new, the creationists and like the Answers News and all them, they pull up a science article, they pop it up and they go, oh, look, all of science is different now. See, they learned something new. So that has to change. Just throw everything out because you learned one new thing, you know. It's a terrible argument. It's, Mike, we're getting tired of hearing these old arguments, aren't we, Mike?
Yep, very tired. Yeah. Oh, I sent him a message.
This is terrible.
I sent him a message of 13-year-old videos. I said, we are having a go at you on the YouTube channel Captive Desk right now on Saturday night. So he'll get that as an email. So anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Thomas Kuhn in his famous book, The Structure of Scientific Revolutions, has even demonstrated, it's a very good book, I have it somewhere, that in various fields, for example, physics, new theories replace old theories not in an orderly scientific manner, but more as a religious conversion, a complete paradigm shift. That's very obvious when you look at things like physics.
Very obvious.
Most of what is taught today in modern theoretical science requires faith in an unproven worldview that actually contradicts the evidence.
Oh, this is kind of conspiracy sounding, isn't it? When they've got the evidence, but they're not really saying what they have. They're saying the opposite or something. It's again, we're back to the inmate guy here. He does that where, well, it's buried under the Smithsonian. That's why we can't see it, Well, isn't that convenient,
So the structure of scientific theory, I think, is the name of the Kuhn book. And I don't know if he said science is like a religion. It's not exactly what he said. He was talking about paradigm shifts in science. He was talking about quantum mechanics. He was talking about Galileo and the whole, what this Earth moving around the sun and all that bullshit. He's talking about basically revolution in scientific paradigms. And I think Kuhn wrote in like the 40s or something like that. And he was responding to the quantum mechanic overturning of Newtonian mechanics. And yeah, it doesn't,
But it doesn't overturn it. It adds to it.
Yeah. Yep. Scientific revolutions and paradigms. Anyway.
Now, the problem is that people aren't honest, and people are not, they don't deal with things objectively. People choose evidence based on their prior commitments, their prior worldview.
That's true. We all do.
Yeah. That's why the scientific method tries to weed that out as best as possible. And without a method, you really don't have anything. And I've explained it many times. If you have another method, you have to produce your method. You just can't say you don't like the scientific method's way, because that's kind of the best way we have right now. If you got a better way, that sounds great to me. Let's check out your better way, right?
We have a wonderful audience, and they're putting things in chat that are amusing, and we keep missing them, like Tsunamis, Oompa Loompa, Doopity Doo. Yeah, that one. Anyway, but it's kind of hard to pay attention to chat at the same time. But I appreciate.
I seen Chris stopping through, and Tsunami, good to see you. Nerdy.
Every time I look at
Paul, we got a Josh, we got a G. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot of folks in the chat. Good to see everybody. Enjoy the chat.
So Harris and other atheists' naive, simplistic, inaccurate view of modern science arises from their failure to see or understand that there is no such thing as an uninterpreted fact.
There's no such thing as an uninterpretive fact. No such thing as an uninterpretive fact. Okay. Right.
He assumes his own objectivity and his own autonomous ability to be able to determine what can be and what cannot be.
We try to. Nothing's 100%.
He thinks he's open-minded and scientific and can objectively determine the meaning of the facts.
Again, to the best of the scientific method, if things are on the up and up, yes. And yes, you're going to find people that are frauds, and if you're going to pull those up, there's frauds and everything, unfortunately. But
yeah, let's bring up Piltdown Man.
Yeah, right. So otherwise, it's good to go. So
I'm having problems with my audio, so I'll be right back.
All right.
Totally self-deceived and ignorant.
Okay.
Although he believes in modern unscientific pagan macroevolutionary theory, that is, the universe is a product of matter plus time plus chance, he bases his argumentation on autonomous human reason or upon valid universal laws of logic, which is contrary and meaningless in a chance universe.
No, that doesn't follow. Doesn't matter why the universe is made. If we can apply the laws of logic, somebody just asked me the brain in the vat question the other day, right? If we are a brain in a vat, but we can still apply the laws of logic, then it doesn't really matter.
Okay, based on his own theory of how the universe came into being, universal unchanging laws of logic should be theoretically impossible.
No. Again, no. We explain the universe or our place in it or about the universe because we're in the universe. It doesn't matter. I'll grant you God made the universe. If God made the universe and we're still following these laws of logic and physics and everything and stuff, then we still have to follow them. I don't see what difference does it make who made it. If God made it or didn't, the universe is here. So we have to deal with it.
He believes that humans are only evolved biological machines and that consciousness is merely the epiphenomenon of a physical brain.
Yes.
Yet he speaks of freedom and universal ethics.
Yes.
If you believe that we're just simply machines, we're just matter that evolved into these beings, like a computer, then theoretically you should believe in material determinism.
Maybe I do. In a way, yeah. See, this is just diminishing us, right? It's just diminishing the wonder of us being here, right? It really is, you know? I don't think they can appreciate it without saying, well, God did it. You know? Okay, God did it. It doesn't matter. If you're a believer or not, you can appreciate the wonder. You can appreciate the benefits science gives you, all the same. I don't see why these arguments are winning either way, really.
Yeah. Like, the universe is not less wonderful without God.
Right. Yeah, you can stand next to a believer and look at the stars in the sky or a sunset or a sunrise or the mountains or whatever it is that takes your breath away, and you can both say, wow, that's beautiful, that's wondrous, you know, have the emotional response, right? It's not a winning argument either way. It's a human experience, right? And we get to experience it because we're having a human experience. So enjoy it. The ride is short.
The very assumptions about logic, science, morality, and unchanging truths that Harris and atheists make are inconsistent and unintelligible epistemologically, that is the study of knowledge, and metaphysically, that's the study of being, with their materialist chance universe.
Chance. Yeah, I knew Mike wouldn't like that word.
Yep.
Mythological.
It's a coincidence. It's all a coincidence, basically. It's a chance universe. Like if you step in front of a bus and it kills you, it's just a coincidence that you died at the same time that the bus hit you, right? So it's all a coincidence according to them. It's all chance. This is just such bullshit. There's nothing random or chancy about it. Probabilistic, maybe, we could say that about some things, but no, the goddamn universe doesn't work with chance. If you step in front of a bus and it kills you, it's because the bus killed you. It's not because it was a coincidence that you died at the same time that the bus hit your body, right?
Wow. Sorry.
Anyway.
and I ask you if you get the time, watch some of these creation scientists talk about what we know about a single cell.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God. Why not watch a real scientist talk about it?
Oh, he went there, didn't he? He went there.
Oh,
He's sending you
complex.
to the creationist scientists. Oh no. Oh, don't do that. Don't go there.
I've spent the last 5 weeks learning about what happens in the first hour of a fruit fly's life. And it's complicated. So what?
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
creation scientists. It's like, oh boy, I wonder which one he goes to. See if we can figure it out.
Or the chemical processes involved in getting to complex proteins and lipids and all these things necessary for their assumption of how the first cell came into being.
Yeah, you don't know what any of those things are, you tosser.
And Mike has explained this before, that it doesn't take a lot to get the simple lipids, right, Mike? And they can,
and amino acids.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a long journey. It was a 4 billion year journey, and there were anyway. There was a lot of soup. It was a big bowl of soup. It was an Earth-sized bowl of soup, and
Lots
4
of
billion years. Yeah, lots of soup.
It's impossible. Evolution is impossible.
Oh, it is. Figure that out.
Okay.
Tell me, asshole, what your degree is in biology. It's impossible. It's just like,
Impossible.
I figured it.
All right.
I got an envelope and I scratched a couple of numbers on the back of the envelope, and then I asked Google to solve them for me, and it said, "Oh, really big."
I'm leaning Cordova for some reason with it's impossible stuff.
It's impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah.
By rejecting Jesus Christ in the Christian world and life view, Harris embraces irrationality and arbitrariness. He often...
Yeah, if you do not embrace a Christian worldview, you're irrational.
Did he say Harrison, or did I mishear that?
Yeah, it's Harris. He's talking about Harris.
No, but I think he said Harrison. Didn't he? Harrison
Oh,
or something?
Probably just ran his words together. He's talking about Harrison.
Okay.
Harris still.
He offers us the latest humanistic speculations with no epistemological foundation whatsoever.
Really?
The atheist
Pretty sure he
objection to
does.
Christianity is without real meaning and genuine factuality. They pretend to have the final interpretation of the facts of the phenomenal flux universe, yet to do so they would need an exhaustive knowledge of all the facts of the phenomenal universe.
Phenomenal flux universe. What the hell is a phenomenal flux universe?
I don't know. And he's using that you have to know everything to know something argument. And that's not a good argument either.
Did I miss something? The phenomenal flux universe? Did I miss something?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was also thinking, what the fuck is that?
What is
You're-
that? Oh,
You're the science guy, Mike. You're supposed to know this.
I know.
What's
I'm supposed
this
to know
flux
this shit.
thing? Is this like Back to the Future with the flux capacitor going on there?
I think. I don't know. I thought flux was some shit you use while you're soldering or something. Huh? I'm curious about which science
I don't know.
fiction, mysticism, philosophy.
Oh.
Maybe Harris uses that in his mysticism. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
It isn't
I
a
don't know.
standard. It's bullshit. He misspoke.
Well, flux has to do with magnetism.
Yeah, and a few other things, but there's no phenomenal flux universe.
Oh no!
Everything. He just threw that in there because he
actually
wants
went and tried to look it up.
I asked ChatGPT, what the hell? Because I could be wrong, and it could be like a big thing called the phenomenal flux universe. And if there is, I want to know about it. If I'm wrong, but no, I'm not wrong. There is no fucking such thing as a phenomenal flux universe.
All right.
He was just trying to
Past,
sound
present,
smart.
and future, as well as all possibilities behind these facts. So their arguments at bottom are all sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I have a very lengthy footnote. I forgot to include it in here.
Who said that?
But what modern science tells us.
I don't know.
Now, they have this theory that in the primordial soup, different molecules got together and they formed complex proteins and lipids and all these things, and this developed out of the first cells of life. Well, what we know now is that even if like lightning hits water and you get a couple of proteins or something form, they'll dissolve within a few weeks. They don't.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that was the end of them, I guess.
Yeah,
But they reproduced, right? Or they replicated or whatever.
yeah. Well, there was a source of more proteins, and like proteins dissolve, and it isn't water. No, it isn't. It isn't just water. There's a lot of things in the cell. If proteins did not go away after, didn't have a half-life of like 48 hours or less, we would die immediately. Your life depends on basically things being in flux. Maybe that's what he meant by flux universe. I don't know. Anyway,
It's
more bullshit.
Is that the name of the fifth elephant?
Full of sound and fury. William Shakespeare, Macbeth. That's where the sound and fury. I should have known that. See, I don't know everything. God.
Yeah, so you blew it again, Mike.
Yeah, I blew it again.
We'll let you redeem here in a second.
last. They need billions of years of combining with other things to form life.
Yep.
But they dissolve in water. Water's the enemy. Time and water are the enemy of evolution.
Yeah, it had to stick around for 4 billion years. Otherwise, that one protein, I mean, if that one protein hadn't stuck around for 4 billion years, it never would have evolved into us. Like, we are the same protein. Oh, my God. What the hell is wrong with these people? Why do you do this to me,
Too much
Dave?
to list. Like, it would be a quicker answer. What's not wrong with them?
Yeah, what's not wrong with them? Like, oh, that same protein only lasted for a few hours. How could it evolve? It didn't have time to change into a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, I've heard this argument a lot. Yeah. Those cells didn't live very long. And it's like, we have a lot of cells that don't live very long. It's
Yep.
Yeah, that's not
Have
an
you heard of
argument.
sperm?
Yeah.
Well,
Those cells don't live long.
somebody was just covering your stomach muscles, or I think Dr. Dan or something, that, yeah, they're constantly being replaced. If your your stomach cell muscles, muscle, is it a muscle? Anyway, the cells in your stomach, if they didn't keep getting replaced, you'd be in big trouble. So they're constantly being replaced.
Dave, every time you find one of these guys, it takes 12 days off my life. I hope you realize that. 12 whole days.
The modern atheist apologist does not know enough about reality, brute factuality, to make universal truth statements about Christ and the Christian world and life view.
I don't think we really do.
Yeah, we don't know enough about Christ to make statements about Christ. That's a fact.
Yeah, and religious beliefs, as he already said, you have your religious beliefs. It's like, I'm not really arguing against that. It's when you're saying stuff that there's no evidence for evolution, then we're going to say, well, there's plenty of evidence for evolution. And you can still have your religion. So
there's one thing I do
very
know.
Very weak. I'm sorry. It's very weak stuff.
There's one thing I do know about Christ that, and he's a Presbyterian, right? Okay. When I went to church between the ages of 6 and like 8, 9 years old, the only time they ever mentioned Christ was on Christmas. It was always God, God, God. And now, sometime like between the 1960s, the 60s and the 70s, Christianity changed to this Christ, Christ, Christ. So they talk about Christ like he's in charge, right? And it used to be God, 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 and now it's Christ, Christ, Christ. And I know,
Christ.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I think it's a cultural change in Christianity that's occurred in the last 60 years, that basically they've and it started with the whole born again movement, from the hippies in the 60s. So a bunch of hippies did way the fuck too many mushrooms in the 60s, and they got confused, and then they went to church, and they got less confused when they went to church, and so that's what happened. They became, this whole born again thing happened. And now it's just all about Christ. It's like, what the hell are they doing? God must be pissed. I mean,
and you gotta be the right kind of Christian too, especially with this fella.
Oh yeah.
That's why they like to lump it with all these crazy religions that are obviously wrong. They criticize the Bible, but they do so.
Yeah, all the other religions are crazy and wrong.
Rising from the dead ain't crazy. Turning water into wine and
Magic Zoo Boat.
Bread,
Don't forget the Magic Zoo Boat.
Magic Zoo Boat. None of that's crazy. That's crazier than the Santa Claus story. I mean, did you see the red one, the movie? The red one, they actually explain how Santa works, and it makes more sense than Christianity. So if you watch the red one, you will come away knowing how Santa works, and it will make more sense to you than Christianity.
Bigfoot makes more sense to me, but
yeah.
Ignorantly using faulty.
Oh, speaking of which, I wanted to let everybody know, Bree over at Hive Size got merch now, so you can get some T-shirts and a hat, I think, and stuff. If you go underneath her video, there are links and everything. And I ordered myself a new Bigfoot shirt.
Of course you did.
Heck yeah, I did. She just got it set up, and I said, "Well, you let me know." So she said this morning, and heck yeah, there I was. So I have a new squat shirt coming up.
I have some fundamentalist Christians in my family, and they're having a gender reveal party tomorrow, and they're gonna blow either pink or blue confetti out of the cannon, and I suggested that they get lavender confetti in case their kid is trans, and it didn't go over very well with my.
You're stirring the pot, aren't you? Stirring the pot.
Now, how can they reveal the gender if they can reveal the sex?
Yeah,
but
the
not
sex
the
is
gender.
a sex reveal party, right? Yeah. Well,
yeah.
And that might even.
I think that will not fit that well with Christians.
Yeah, I was thinking we could get flannel for lesbian and taupe for gay. Different confetti. I don't know.
Thank you, Rochelle. Yeah, Bree, go to the Hive Size store there.
I just got you canceled.
Go to the Hive Size store and get yourself a shirt. All right.
Yeah. Humanistic presuppositions. Even their truth claims in the realm of theoretical science are fallacious because the facts are misinterpreted using humanistic, pagan, secular, atheistic presuppositions.
Holy moly.
Atheistic presuppositions.
That was a mouthful. Hold on. Try that again.
Something else was not mouthful. Oh, never mind.
Okay. Because the facts are misinterpreted using humanistic, pagan, secular, atheistic presuppositions.
As soon as they plug that Hubble telescope in, they didn't plug it in, but as soon as it starts working and taking pictures, immediately the whole theory of the evolution of galaxies was thrown out the window.
Out the window.
It's been disproven.
I didn't even know the name of the damn telescope, which just blows me away.
You gotta plug it in.
Yeah,
it's got to plug it in.
Fully formed very large galaxies exist where they should not, according to the modern scientific orthodoxy. The modern atheistic scientists will brush this off and come up with new atheistic theories of the origins of the universe using his imagination. And we are supposed to accept universal truth statements about God from men who have lied to us and fed us this totally false dogma for almost a century.
What was the false dogma? That galaxies started out small and got big over time. So
I missed it. Yeah.
Were you fed that dogma? Did they tell you how long it took galaxies to form when you were in third grade? They didn't tell me. I wasn't had no dogma on this.
Nope, I missed it.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
Yeah, that apparently it happens much faster than they thought. That's actually
Yeah.
quite interesting and cool. It's really cool.
I'm trying to figure out who he sounds like.
I don't know.
This is pretty like
My fart? Oh.
I don't want to say like, you know, the Alex guy with the last name with the J and the gay frogs and all that crazy nonsense.
The fucking
But it's kind of leaning like that between a cross and Kent Hovind. But this stuff is like, I don't know. Hovind's more of a clown. This guy's like mean or something. I'm trying to figure out where he gets this stuff from.
ChatGPT is going to cancel me because I keep asking it stupid questions like, did the James Webb telescope find galaxies that were too big and now cosmology is reeling?
Did they get it plugged in yet? Did you ask it that?
Yeah, they get it plugged in. Yeah.
The Big Bang goes,
Oh,
really, the 1930s, it became accepted. And then the Big Bang was developed into the evolution of the universe. and
Do you know what the short answer from you know what the short answer to my question from ChatGPT is? That it is cosmology reeling now because of the James Webb. The short answer is no. No.
Yeah. It
No
ran through all the
cosmology.
it ran through all the creationist circles though. So whichever one he's following, he picked it up.
It says no, mainstream cosmology isn't reeling in quotes, air quotes, nor is the standard model on the verge of collapse. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
I like fact checking things.
Well, this is the kind of stuff Rebecca and Sal were covering, right? I mean, it's
Yeah. They were all
garbage.
excited about this because, you know, it kind of screwed up their the models they had of early universe forming galaxies and stuff, and they have to go back to the drawing board on a few things.
they did that because if you don't believe in God, you have to explain how everything got here without God.
That's what they're trying to do. Ta-da!
The fields of biochemistry and macrobiology have proved that it is impossible for non-life to evolve into life.
No.
I'm really
But
confused.
most scientists are unwilling to admit this because it so clearly points us to the Creator and mankind as a creation by intelligent design.
Something like 80%. How many scientists in the United States are Christian? It's a pretty high number. Pretty high number.
Yeah, by the numbers. Now a lot of the top folks in their fields, the numbers change.
Yeah.
But generally, though, yeah, you have plenty of religious people. And there are people that are religious that do great science. Again, it's not an argument.
Yeah,
You
Dr.
wanna believe-
There's even Christians that or other religious people that do amazing charity work and other amazing work and are generally just amazing people.
So 30% of all scientists in the USA identify as Christians. And Dr. Joel Duff is a really good example of a good scientist who's a Christian. And he goes after creationists, and he has a channel that everybody should watch. He does some wonderful stuff. He did a wonderful thing on the Dead Sea, I think.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Dr. Joel does good work over there, and Dr. Dan is also on the creationists all the time too. So
Yep.
always appreciate those that are established in their fields and contributing in the community. Adds a lot.
Among the general public, 83% of Americans identify as Christian, and 33% of the scientists do. So science does kind of screw Christianity up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
There are atheistic scientists. They're scientists. They're not Christians. That are biologists. That looking at the data, openly admit that evolution is impossible.
No,
Yeah,
no.
Like,
Names,
no,
please.
they are, names.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they
of course
say that, their
What's up,
colleagues
Joe?
would laugh at them.
And
Hey,
Fox and Tilting Windmill. How y'all doing?
hello.
Oh, let's see. I wonder if I should ask ChatGPT.
The RNA in your cell
Yeah.
contains over 500 pages of small print of information.
Oh, does it? RNA?
500 pages of small print information.
I think he meant DNA. I don't know.
Yeah. Did he type it all out?
But yes, indeed. Like, nature is
Complex.
wonderful, and like some things are hard to imagine. Like, your DNA indeed holds a lot of information, but like, isn't that wonderful? But that doesn't mean God did it.
If you start studying molecular cell biology, and I do very seriously, and then you go sit in your armchair and you think, how in the hell am I still breathing and my heart is beating and I'm still alive? And you sit there and you go over all that and you realize that we are a damn miracle of complexity and a miracle of the natural world. And it does give you a real good feel. And not only that, but not only do I live and breathe and my heart beats, but I can read molecular biology and understand why I do, which is unbelievable. I mean, it is a miracle. You know, I'll call it a natural miracle.
And if you want to grant it all to God and everything, that's fine. But you're still taking advantage of all the advancements that science and technology gives us. And you have no problem with that. So I don't think it's really the problem with the science so much. It's, once again, that evolution thing or that Big Bang thing. You know what I mean? It's these certain things that they don't like. That's the problem.
Okay, are there any atheist biologists who say evolution is impossible? Trying to find somebody. Okay, it's rare.
All right.
Such individuals might actually support it. Okay, go ahead.
Well, there's always outliers. You can always find outliers, or somebody's like the Discovery Institute did, where they used fuzzy wording and they said, well, like asking a question, could more be learned about evolution? And they'll say, well, sure, more could be learned. Then they'll say, see, aha, they don't know everything about evolution. And they twist it around. Yeah.
No, but like no scientist ever said they know everything in their field.
Right.
So David Berlinski.
Oh, no.
Yeah. David Berlinski identifies as an agnostic, but he's not. He's a big pompous ass who he manages to fake a foreign accent to sound smarter than he is, but he's from like Chicago or something. And he's one of the ones they listen. And then Jerry Fodor, but then it says, no, he doesn't say it's impossible. He just criticizes natural selection. And then Thomas Nagel also criticized. Was
Berlinski in that video you were covering last week, Mike?
Yes. Yeah. Berlinski, there were four of them, four idiots got together. And Berlinski is like the biggest idiot of all. And he's a philosopher. And he's full.
They're not the four horsemen. They're the four boroughs.
The four boroughs, yeah. The four horses that the horsemen are riding, I think. I don't know.
The horses' rear ends.
No, then they would not be horses, but related to horse, but asses.
Asses. Yeah.
That was the word. That's the word.
Four asses. There you go. Four asses.
It's like a computer in your cell.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've got a computer in your cell. I mean, a cell's more like a nuclear submarine than it is this simple protoplasm that they believed in the days of Darwin.
Nothing like a submarine, nothing like a fucking computer. So sorry.
No, it's our body's actually more interesting and complex than that. I think he's understating it actually. Like, and again, like it being wonderful and complex. How is that a thing to say? Like, but God did it. Like, no, it's just nature is that amazing.
Well, to get the Peter Atkins quote in for the week, it's intellectual laziness. When you just throw your hands in the air, and I mentioned Cordova earlier, and there's some of these other ones, that's what they say, that scientists in certain fields that haven't gotten an answer yet should just throw their hands in the air and go home and give up.
Yeah, just start believing in God.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then that gets you, it doesn't get you new discoveries. It doesn't get you a better cell phone, doesn't get you a better car, doesn't get you a better refrigerator, better food, on medicine, on down the line. Because everybody went home and gave up.
Yeah.
So you've got, let's say, something akin to a nuclear submarine with thousands of moving parts, with a very sophisticated internal computer that not only
billions of moving parts. No computer.
They're analogies. This goes back to like those CGIs you see of what's going on inside the cell. These are chemical processes that are happening that they represent with these videos. And I've tried to explain this over and over, and they don't understand. No, that it's not what's going on.
And if you could actually see what's really going on, if you could really look at these molecules interacting, it would look nothing like those wonderful videos they put out. Those wonderful videos are really great teaching tools, but like there's another thing, like the diagram of the neurons in the brain. You'll see these diagrams of neurons connecting to other neurons and stuff like that. When you see a real electron micrograph of an actual brain, it looks more like a pile of head cheese or mud or some kind of goop that you created in some restaurant by mashing a bunch of berries together. It doesn't look anything like those mechanistic pictures that we have in biology books. And that's one of the problems with science is, like, you see all these diagrams, but then when I got my first cow brain and I dissected it, I'm like, holy shit, this doesn't look anything like those diagrams. It's like, this is cool.
No, but that's also like, a diagram is not showing you what something looks like. It's
right. It shows you how
to easily to simplify what something does.
Tool.
Same. If in my field, like an electrical diagram, like that's not how something is constructed in your house. It's
right.
A simplification of it.
If you look at an electrical diagram of a silicon computer chip, it's nothing like what's really going on in that chip. It's a teaching tool, and we can't mistake the tool we can't mistake the finger for the moon.
And those things, the problem with those things is that does increase the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
Because they think, oh, I've seen that, I've studied that image, so now I know it all. No, you don't know it all. You know the basics.
In the last 100 years in molecular cell biology, the one thing we learned is that, we used to think that, like, there was this protein machine that would lock onto another protein machine and turn a screw and do this and lock onto another. And then we found out that for every protein, it has something called a connectome, and it connects to thousands of other proteins. It interacts with thousands of other proteins. And out of that whole mess, statistically, the ones that make a difference will react with each other and and allow you to keep living. But then when we found that out, we didn't throw our hands up and say, oh, evolution is impossible because it's too complex. No, it's not complex like a machine. It's complex like a pile of mud. And it just happens to work. And what that shows, this connectome with all these proteins interacting with all these other proteins, it shows you how evolution is possible. It shows you how evolution happened. And you have to look very carefully at it. You have to understand it. So the complexity didn't disprove evolution. It's proving it. And that's what we've learned in the last 100 years. And particularly in the last 30 or 40 years. So anyway.
I say hello to Joe. Hello, Joe.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, Joe.
What you got to say, Joe?
Hey,
I would have a question back at him about this. I would say, well, at what point does it become, like, what's the number of proteins where it becomes so complex that a God had to have done it? Like,
right. Exactly. Yeah.
What is
You know-
that point? Because I think that's very telling about the incredulity that's going on in that argument.
Well, let's say, I've been studying the fruit fly and how the fruit fly develops from an egg. And there's a whole bunch of, they're called gene regulatory networks in there. And if I had designed that, I wouldn't have gone through like 10 different steps. You would have just created one protein that would have had one effect and it would have done one thing, right? Directly.
Yeah.
But no, it goes from A, pass it on to B, B inhibits C, and C, inspires a bunch of other shit. And it's just crazy. We're going to talk about this hopefully on Austin's channel and my channel a little bit.
Well,
But
they
there's no way it was designed.
they talk about how much info is there and how much it is, but they leave out the part that like a lot of it has no purpose. A lot of it is so if you want to claim that a God did that, then God did it in a completely ineffective way.
In a stupid
yeah.
way, yeah.
Yeah, because
Right.
there's all this tons of extra stuff that doesn't do anything, and redundancy. Why would God need so much redundancy? I mean, there's a number of reasons why that's just it's just a stupid thing to say.
Yeah. Yeah. There, I gotta turn my camera on here. Let me see.
God could have just made it perfect.
We've actually got farther in this video than I thought we would.
Pull him up for a bit. He's showing shit. He's being smart. I want to learn. Pull him up. Pull him up on the big screen.
Here we go.
Okay, that thing right there is just a really, really simple network that patterns the area between the ass and the mouth of the fruit fly. Basically, this is what divides it into the major segments, and this is an extremely simplified diagram, mind you. There's about 100 other proteins that are involved, or genes. This is bicoid and caudal and giant and crouple and hunchback and nerps and tailless, and all of these things interact, and they've been working out these but I mean, look at this goddamn thing. So crouple basically inhibits giant, which inhibits crouple, and then we got hunchback, which inhibits crouple, but it expresses crouple at the same time at different concentrations, and it's just a mess. And you got to learn all these different networks, but these networks are not the whole story. There are hundreds and thousands of other proteins involved in this process, and we don't know all the facts yet. Anyway, but put that down. So I just wanted to show you a real simple gene regulatory network. So
It maintains everything and protects everything from damage, but also recreates everything and replicates itself. We must always remember that modern scientists do not give us facts. They give us their biased interpretation of the facts.
Oh, do they really? My goodness. Oh, my goodness. And that's how we launch rockets, by a biased interpretation of the facts. That's God,
I thought he was going to say something good.
No, he's an idiot.
That's how they made the cameras that he's filming with, and the internet that he found the information on, right? By bias, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's all bias.
Yeah.
And what's he giving us?
Sorry.
Fuck. I don't know.
I need a drink.
At least they give us a biased interpretation of the facts. He's given us a biased interpretation of his imagination.
Yeah, he started out by saying that his religion is right and all the other ones are crazy made up nonsense or something.
No, they're Satan. They're satanic.
So I'm from Satan. Yeah, that's right.
They were satanic.
Yeah, out. Oh, I forgot Satan. I'm doomed now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dark Lord. Forgive me.
In the name of the Dark Father.
Now, except in the area of what I call surface knowledge. Yeah, there's the moon. Here's an apple.
Okay.
That's a dog. What is so deceptive and evil about modern pagan science?
Modern pagan.
Holy
science.
And it's so evil. So
It's
evil.
getting deep.
What makes it
getting
pagan?
But wait, it's I know what it is. It's that it's starting to disprove God. It shows more and more things where we do not need to fill in God did it.
Yeah.
Well, and back to what Mike said, baking soda and vinegar, which I like to use often too, right? Okay, if I do it and the Reverend here does it, is it going to have the same reaction? Yes.
No.
He believes in God. I don't believe in God. You're going to get the same reaction.
You both manifest.
Oh, well, yeah, we manifest it, right?
What I'm interested in is how has hair evolved over the last 14 years.
What?
Is like Brian
Got great lift. Got great lift. I wish I had lift like that.
What makes science pagan? And also, I mean, I think he leaves out that, like, not so much now, but years ago, it was the church that made some of the biggest contributions to science and evolution, for that matter.
Yeah.
Cosmology.
Yeah.
It's been religion that contributed a lot to that when they didn't have their head in their ass, you know, and they were.
Then they were saying, like, oh, let's discover God's creation. But now they're at the point where they're filling in so many gaps that you don't need that filler God of the gaps.
It's like you found out too much. Slow back off. We wanted to find out a few things, but we find out too many things. Yeah, we didn't want to know all these things. Yeah.
It literally shows that there's more to the world than this. Yeah,
they did it all from the presupposition that it was God to begin with, but I mean, they were being open-minded about, okay, let's see how God's world works, you know, and so they discovered things in astronomy. They made predictions in evolution years before Darwin ever became a thing.
Holy shit. So I said, damn, I wanted to TM that one, and YouTube censored me. What is TM? Does TM stand for something else that I'm not aware of?
I don't know. Don't be using bad words.
But you use damn, and damn is bad.
Be using bad words.
Stop trying to spell at YouTube.
Maybe TM is a euphemism for some newfangled thing the kids are doing today. I don't know.
TM.
What could that be?
Do I want to know?
Throw mom.
Do I want to know?
Throw mom from the bus.
That is atheistic naturalism.
Trust me.
Is that out of a very limited defective knowledge of the universe, the atheistic scientist claims exhaustive knowledge not only about the physical realm, for example, cosmic, chemical, biological, macroevolution, but also the spiritual realm.
What? Yeah.
The atheist scientists claim they know everything, including about the spiritual realm.
Okay.
Alrighty.
We're studying that. There's a bunch of researchers that have been studying that for years.
That's a lot of credit for us being a bunch of dum-dums. So
yeah,
I guess we'll have to take that while we can get it.
It's our paganism.
Pegging? What? We're going to do some pegging? Oh.
Here we go. I'm seeing God. Okay,
for example,
atheist.
I have.
Oh, go ahead. I'm
not
just going
seen God.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
No. Oh,
no, you go.
You go.
Okay, the atheist
you go.
To judge all fields of knowledge and philosophy as rudimentary, finite, errant conclusions are used to make universal truth statements about the seen and unseen. Am I in the right part here, or my head?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Okay. What the hell is he talking about now? Okay, go ahead, play him. Go ahead.
God or witness Christ's resurrection. Therefore, it must not be true.
Didn't witness the resurrection, so it must not be true. Well, no,
Nobody
that doesn't
says
follow.
that.
No, there's a lot of reasons why it's not true.
And obviously, we couldn't have witnessed something that happened 2,000 years ago. That's a terrible argument. A duh.
Nobody
right?
witnessed the resurrection, so you can't say it is true. Is the problem? It's not the other way around. Huh?
But they have not witnessed cosmic or organic evolution. And they cannot duplicate chemical or biological evolution in a lab. They've been trying since the 1950s.
They have.
Yes, they have. So, maybe you should get beyond the 1950s or whatever year.
Yeah.
How does it feel to just say things like you're right and give that side eye? You son of a bitch.
Well, he's talking to Jesus. So.
Yeah. I think he forgot which camera was running.
Yeah.
I was going to put Bigfoot there, but I was like, Jesus is more appropriate.
No,
Jesus has a what do you call it? Shoulder to cry on, right? So
We've been covering Ken Ham on Fridays, and he does he changes his camera angle every second through the whole video.
I know.
That's wild.
That's their new thing over there. They're doing it in all their stuff. It is so annoying. Oh my gosh.
That is because the youngins have less attention span, and that helps with that. Constantly changing image.
I don't think Ken Ham voicing over anything is going to make it more interesting.
I think they got a new mixer board in their new media center there, and they were playing with it because, it's just like somebody sitting there flipping the switches. You know what I mean? Oh, wow.
He does a 3-minute video with 60 transitions.
Well, I thought at first it was jump cuts, but they're not cutting stuff out. They're just flipping around the camera views like that. It's like, wow.
He's got a producer that's button happy is what it is.
Yeah.
Or it's automatic. It might be automatic.
In 1953, there was an experiment where they took all this, they made their own goo, and they were hitting it with lightning and electricity and doing all these things to it to try to get to form a more complex molecule. Yep. And they did make a couple of molecules.
Ta-da!
They did make a couple of molecules, but they did not succeed in making molecules. Okay.
So you got it, Brainless.
In more modern experiments, they've actually figured out that Miller-Urey missed a few, that there was a lot more being made than they thought.
Here's the dishonest part of this, because when he's talking about God did it, it takes 5 pages to write the least little bit of your DNA, and it's so complex, and it's a supercomputer, and it's all these things. But when scientists are working on it, it's goo and lightning.
Yeah. And it made molecules. That's a good experiment. It wasn't Frankenstein, right? Something wasn't going to climb out of the beaker. That was never the purpose of the experiment, nor did anybody expect it to happen. That's not it.
I think some people expected it, but not the people doing the experiment.
Sci-Fi Saturday.
It's not what science is even trying to. Origins of life science isn't to prove that this thing happened. It's to give a possible description of what could have worked to produce life. Right. That's it. Sure, they would love to be able to recreate life in a lab day after day, but that's not the goal. It's to come up with an explanation that could have happened, that doesn't violate any laws and would be something that is possible to happen in nature, because science looks for natural explanations of the world around us.
And like I said earlier, we can't make a sun in a lab. You can't put all the oceans in a lab either, right? And you had a lot of stuff going on in a big ocean that you're never going to be able to replicate in a lab either.
There's sorry, go ahead.
For decades, we have been mutating fruit flies, and these creationists say we have been trying to create a new species out of a fruit fly, right? No, that's not why you mutate genes. You mutate a gene, a single gene, to find out what that gene does. That's why they do it. Nobody is trying to create a new species.
We did that thing with fruit flies in high school, where you put them in the container and eventually you end up with different fruit flies. And I went to a school that taught intelligent design, and we did that.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
But there's this fallacy with origin of life sciences that if you haven't reproduce life in a lab, then all of it's junk. It's all useless. And that's it's just looking at it the wrong way.
If we could do it in the lab, if we actually could reproduce life in the lab, then it would make more sense that God created life, because it would look more designed, right? If you could actually find a mechanism to produce it, but it just doesn't.
If we could make a man thing out of clay and put the breath of life in it and it came to life, then sure, that would seem reasonable. But I mean out of those two stories, chemicals make bonds, and sometimes, RNA, the RNA that reproduces itself that he acted like was so complex, origin of life sciences, especially with abiogenesis, shows that RNA wasn't really all that complex. It was a few chemical bonds that came together, and as soon as it was able to reproduce itself, then you have evolution takes over at that moment, because you have small little changes in every generation of that after that. And those small changes and more chemical bonds add up over time.
You'd think some Satanist could take a Barbie doll and bring it to life or something if it was possible, right? It's just like, I mean, the Satanists.
I should try that.
You mean Child's Play wasn't a documentary?
No. Yeah. That's supposed to be right up there with the Flintstones, right?
I need to learn the words that Chucky says.
Is that Chucky? Chucky really freaks me out, man.
All we could ever say when we watch those things is like, somebody kicked that doll, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That doll has superhuman strength.
My sister-in-law has a room that she puts me in when I stay overnight there, and she's got like a doll collection, right? These antique dolls. There's like hundreds of them, and I wake up in the middle of the night screaming.
Don't be tripping at that house.
I sleep under the bed. Yeah, it is scary.
But what they don't tell you is that those molecules will disintegrate and dissolve within a few weeks. You need not only for nature to produce complex molecules, but they have to maintain themselves and then add on to that, and then add on to that.
No, they don't.
Millions of
they do.
The whole point of life is that they don't maintain themselves, that they're temporary. They get broken down. That's the whole point of it. It's not what you say. They don't have to like stick around for 4 billion years. We went over this already. Oh, I got to check my blood pressure.
It's always leaving out the simple to the complex. That's what they don't want any of the in between part explained. And once again, okay, well, you got the beginning and the end part. Now wait a minute, we don't like the explanation too much, because that sounds too much like it just happened by natural means, and then evolution becomes the boogeyman all of a sudden. When it's biology. It's part of biology.
Millions and billions of years. But these things have to be true because they hate and reject God.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. That's why.
I do not hate something I do not believe in.
Yeah, I just made a video on this.
I have to say, if he would be real, I would hate him.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick.
Because I don't like war gods and people that want to create wars between everybody.
I just made a video short on the difference between an atheist and a misotheist. An atheist doesn't believe in God. Now, you cannot like God's stories, but you do not dislike the being you do not believe in. A misotheist believes in God and they're mad at it.
They're mad at him. Okay.
There you go.
Because he killed their mom or something,
whatever. Yep.
Paul tells us they are suppressing the truth and unrighteousness, Romans 1:18.
And this is a bad argument too, because if I wanted to screw up and sin, I'd become a Christian and get forgiven for it.
Right.
This is not a good argument. But the argument is you just want to sin. Well, if I want to sin, I want to be forgiven for it, right?
What are these sins that were like?
Right. What did we have to do that we couldn't do if we were a believer? right?
Yeah, if like when I think, okay, I want to pull up a porno page, I think, oh God, oh, I hate God. If I didn't hate God, I wouldn't be able to pull this page up.
Yeah.
So like, what the hell is he even talking about? And this whole sin thing,
I
I
always
think
get a
it's more.
stack of Bibles together before I pull up a porno page, you know?
Oh yeah, you gotta get that. Yeah. It's a good idea. That industry's gone downhill.
Government stepping in on everything.
There's some shit in there that I
Ruin-
that'll never unsee.
Ruining those couple minutes of alone time.
And I mean, God is such a likable character in the Bible and all, you know?
Oh, he's
Yeah,
Right.
never
Well,
hurts anybody.
you can, as a non-believer, you can dislike the concept of God. That's what I said in my short. It's like, but we don't hate God. Yeah.
He's such a good guy. I mean, they asked him for food. He gave them poisonous snakes.
Yeah, I love the little trick he played on Abraham with his son, right?
Yeah. Abraham and Job scored great.
Then again, like from what I've learned from the Bible, like God is pretty shit. But then again, like Jesus seemed to have been a pretty chill dude.
Yeah.
And for females, I you know, like if you're a woman, God said it was okay for people to rape you as long as they gave your father 10 shekels. I mean, maybe not the most likable guy.
Yeah. And even like they could choose to marry you.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to marry them. Otherwise, you'll get stoned to death.
Yeah, back then, if a dude raped you, you'd be like, "Oh, that's marrying material, man."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they could play it up, but if he wanted to marry you instead, like then you'd have to marry him, and if you didn't, you'd get fucking stoned to death.
I'm gonna go out and waft me one today.
Or you had no recourse because there was no social safety nets or anything. I mean, you're out on the street with nowhere to go, right?
Yeah, and God didn't even just say that you had to marry that person. You married the family because you got passed down as chattel property. Like it was.
Yeah, and also, I don't know. That is one of the things why I think the whole concept of virginity is just bullshit, and we should stop with that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because virginity is only made by the Bible to make us one woman worth more than another.
Yeah, it's about
right.
And like, I don't mind if they had sex before. Like, if they know their way around a dick, hey, good for you.
Use protection.
Yeah, no, but like, I don't know, and also I think that that the whole virginity thing puts too much emphasis and stress on a first time.
Yep, it does.
Sure. Yeah, I think there's a stigma on the whole everything to do with sex, especially in the United States.
And
yeah.
also,
So
in the beginning, it's like, oh yeah, I'm still a virgin. Yeah, and at some point, like, oh, you're still a virgin, and then it's then you're pushing people to have sex. And like,
do you know what my sex ed class was in high school? Can you imagine?
Oh my god, mine was we had a phi ed teacher, right, who liked to watch little boys duck walk around the pool naked, and when he did sex ed, he was as red as a tomato the whole time he was doing the sex ed thing. And it was all about it, and the whole thing was just venereal disease. It was like we were like, holy shit.
Well, that's what ours was. They told you all the diseases you would get if you had sex, and then they had a cop come in and show us what crack was, and said don't ever have sex and don't do drugs.
Crack.
And the next day, everybody had sex and drugs.
Next thing you know, it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
So in Minneapolis, in like I think it was like 1989, 1990. They had a whole series they did on crack and how crack came out, right? And they actually they found a street in Minneapolis and they named it Crack Street. And the people that live there wanted to sue the news because all these people were driving down. I mean, the news media that was the brilliance behind crack. The news media
I've
advertised
seen that.
it for them. It advertised it for them. And
Yeah.
the other thing is gangs in Minneapolis. Like they found a couple of gang symbols somewhere, and they talked about gangs, and all these kids were like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We're going to form a gang." And all of a sudden, we got gangs. But I mean, crack. The news media was responsible for bringing crack to America. They advertise it every goddamn night for half an hour. It's like, holy shit.
Right. And that hyper focus on sexuality and stuff, like in the United States, the DOJ statistics that came out about prisoners and girls and all this stuff says that the number one group for teen pregnancy is evangelical Christians. They're also the number one repeat group for teen pregnancy. They're also the number one group to have abortions is evangelical teens. So, you know.
Yeah, that's why they're obsessed with it. I mean, that's all they talk about. Every time they say sin, you can see it inside of their heads. They're thinking about some sexual thing that they thought of. Right? It's in their fucking heads, not mine.
There's so many churches where I live that growing up, I dated a couple preachers' daughters, you know, like.
Yeah. Oh, those fun. I dated one. Okay. I dated a preacher's daughter, and I went to pick her up once, and her father says, "Come here." And he brought me into his office, and he slams the door, and he started just with this hellfire and brimstone preaching at me. And I was sitting there like shaking.
Yeah.
It's like I thought he was going to kill me. And holy shit, her name was Kathy Kivela. And holy shit, was I scared. I ran out of there, man.
We got that a lot in the Southern Baptist stuff, but you know, like it was, that's the thing, being raised in like an extremely religious area is like, and I'm not like, I'm kind of being a smart ass here and kind of not, it's true, but it's like, it's a lot of girls with daddy problems, you know, like, it's, and there's a lot of the Southern Baptists. I mean, I'm sure that everybody's aware of what goes on.
You cut out.
You cut out. Yeah, but like what you just said, like threatening a child. That's what you're doing.
And
you're threatening a child. Like, what the fuck is wrong with religion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, too much to name it all, but yeah, you got my point.
Their assumption is that if I cannot validate a truth on my terms, according to my atheistic presuppositions, which dictate my use of autonomous human reason, as it looks like it interprets empirical brute factuality, then they, a priori, that is before even looking at the facts, regard that truth as impossible.
Okay. The truth I think he's talking about is his beliefs.
Then
I don't think again, scientists could think they're right, and they can set out to prove they're right and be proven wrong.
Oh, he's mad because we don't believe in resurrection. That's why he's mad. Okay.
Yeah, that truth word, that's always the word I'm like, what truth word means to you is, the truth of the Bible is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If we could resurrect Dan Dennett, that's what we
And these arrogant claims, but
yeah, please do.
Yeah, sorry, we do not believe in zombie Jesus. Sorry.
Yeah, zombie Jesus bad.
Atheistic naturalists have a long history. 19th century scientists like William C. Clifford, 1845 to 74, and Thomas H. Huxley, 1825 to 95. He was called Darwin's bulldog. He was the greatest defender of evolution at that time. Consider the presuppositions of mechanistic science as the absolute truth, and the imputed immorality to theologians whose contrary beliefs they judge to be based on inadequate evidence.
Wow. Yeah, there you go. They didn't have good evidence. There you go. I think you're giving it away there, bud.
No, oh my God.
Not going to argue with you there. Yeah, they had disagreements, because they thought their view of how things came to be did not have adequate evidence, and they did. So in science, yeah, I would say evidence wins. BS walks, right? No offense, BS Lewis.
He has his head turned to the side, but he's looking forward more.
He's talking to Jesus.
He's talking to Jesus. But he's saying that we believe in things that we have absolutely no proof whatsoever for. What are those things? What are those things?
And these pagan scientists have a problem with that. They're so awful.
It's so awful. Yeah. We have no proof whatever for any of this science stuff. Yeah.
Now, they believe in things that they have absolutely no proof whatsoever for. And all the evidence points in the opposite direction. But Christians are immoral.
Wait. They believe in things they have no evidence for, but Christians are immoral.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa! Where did we get? Whoa! Big chasm leaped there.
Right. That was a leap. Right.
He named his projection and then did it, and then and it it's not that I think Christians are immoral. I think that the moral code that they follow is immoral. Right? I think the Bible gives you a set of rules that's immoral. Christians, everybody lives by whatever morals they feel like is right and wrong. That's each individual has a different set of morals, and they've shown this in a lab. But
yeah, they do a certain judgy thing, like judgment of other people, that I consider immoral. And actually, I think the Bible kind of suggests they don't do that, but they do that a lot anyway. So, I mean, that's what all this fire and brimstone shit is about.
Somebody's dropping us a comment.
They're sending us love notes.
I know. Yeah. Love you back. Liberal's not an insult. I'm a liberal. It's not an insult. It just means you care for people and you're progressive, and there's nothing bad in the word. So. All good. I'll take it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There were 12 apostles. They witnessed the resurrection.
Okay.
They taught the resurrection.
What are their names?
They taught that Christ died on the cross and he rose from the dead. Okay. They were persecuted for over 40 years. And all of them were put to death, and they were tortured and put to death by the Roman Empire except one.
Okay, well,
you don't have that information.
What sources are you going to? Because even the church and stuff doesn't accept a lot of these sketchy sources on supposedly all the ways that they were martyred. And no, it doesn't hold up. That's, again, a weak argument. So, and why doesn't the Bible mention it? Well, why doesn't the Bible mention it? You have stories written 30, 40, 60 years later, and none of them were martyred in that time that made it into the Bible. I mean, that would be a good story to put in there.
The Bible does mention it in code. It's called the book, the Revelation. But aside from that, though, what was going on at the time? Israel, modern day Israel, was occupied by Rome. They took control of it. They ended up 30 years after what he's talking about. They ended up finally sacking the temple. But the fact is that these people were enemies. The whole thing with Jesus was Jesus was supposed to come back and lead them to fight a war against their oppressors, which was Rome. So saying they were persecuted, they were at war. Like they were occupied. And they fought back, and they believed this thing, and they were using this belief to fight. So yes, there is evidence that Nero at the time did have Christians killed, but that doesn't speak anything to whether the thing they believed is true or not. Obviously, whenever Paul, who is the most credible source in the whole Bible, starts writing stuff, he talks about, I went into town and these people told me these things. He doesn't. There's never any evidence that any of it's real. It's they believe these things, and it's a belief that they're organizing around. And the fact that they were killed for fighting back against their oppressors, or that Nero had just had enough of it, like doesn't it does none of that. Even if we give him all that, what he's saying, which there's no evidence to say that all these people were persecuted and killed. Some were. There's that in history, but there's no the rest of that. Just it doesn't follow though. They believed something was true. Fine. Does that make it true? Kids believe in Santa Claus. Like, it's not.
Yeah, but Santa Claus. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bunch of ghost stories in our family from that I heard when I was a little kid. And there are people that claim they witnessed this and witnessed that, and nobody believes.
I'll have Kip on tomorrow. I'll ask him about it. How's that?
Well, and there are other gospels, but they didn't want to have them in the Bible because again, they didn't like the sources for those other gospels.
So when is that?
What do you?
When is what?
You're having who on tomorrow? Kip Davis? Is that his
Kip
name?
Davis will be on tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh no shit! What time?
2:00 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, cool. That's something. That is something. Wow.
I'm excited to talk to Kip.
Rochelle is on it. Thank you very much. There's the Kentucky Atheist. Yep. Make sure you go over there tomorrow at 2:00 and drop the subscribe and the like and the comment and all that good stuff too while you're there.
I really wasn't trying to plug. I was just trying to, saying, I'm going to talk to a guy that knows a lot more about this than me.
That'll be a good show. It's worth plugging. Absolutely.
I've got several questions together that I think are probably softballs for Kip, but I think they're things that expand on many of the things that we talk about in the atheist community, and it explains better the culture that was behind that, because Kip is really good at explaining the Hebrew culture that followed some of those things. And polytheism in the Bible is a thing. And in order for the Abrahamic religions to be true, Judaism has to be true. So I think there's some stuff to talk about there. It's going to be, I think it's going to be good, but I've been wrong before.
Links, my chats are always repeatable, so there you go. The links are in the chat. Make sure you check it out.
And he spent a lot of time in prison.
I wanted to point out, the claim that they all died for their belief is not a good claim. Even if, like Joe said, even if some of them did, there's not good evidence. It wasn't recorded in the Bible. It wasn't worth recording in the Bible, apparently. And this is the argument of what sources outside of the Bible are you going to accept and which ones are you not going to accept problem. And there's a lot of them. And for if you're going to argue from the Bible, then I'm going to throw back at you, this stuff isn't in the Bible.
People die for their beliefs all the time.
And that too, sure.
Yeah.
And if this stuff had been anything other than just a handful of people that that were around when this crucifixion happened, there would be all kinds of other written material about it, talking about basically explaining why these people were killed, if they were killed, and all that stuff, and there'd be a whole lot of information about it. But there is,
if you're walking around lipping off to Rome, you're probably not going to be around long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They were causing trouble.
You're flipping people off or whatever. Yeah. And Jesus was, king of the Jews. Well, you're going up against the ruling power by saying, no, I'm going to be the king, So you're a troublemaker. And even if it's not, even if he didn't have the ability to do it and he didn't have a big following or whatever, you're a troublemaker. And there wasn't no, just ignore the guy yelling over there. It was no, just get rid of that guy, and they got rid of you.
Well, again, think of it like this, because the early Christians, the whole reason that Jesus says that he'll be back before the last of you taste death is because he's supposed to come back and lead them into this final war with Rome, with their oppressors, and he is supposed to lead them into this battle and win. That's what it's really all about. It's all about them being occupied. And
so they're going to come back and attack Italy, or is that the plan, or what?
they were occupied by Rome. They were going to come back and run them out of Rome. Essentially, they were going to fight them off and have this big glorious battle. And because Jesus was going to lead them, they would all be able to conquer their oppressors, right? And
right.
So after Jesus is gone, and we're 40 years down the road, if you go to Rome and you start stirring up shit with the emperor of Rome, and you say you're Jesus's followers, you're Christians, then they see that as that's the guy that said they think this guy is like their general that's going to lead them into battle. So
yeah,
what do you think they're going to do to you? I mean, like, and whether it's true or not,
they're going to hug you.
You're gone that quick. Yep.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is that somewhere along the line, Rome got behind that movement and decided that Christianity was a way to control the populace. And I'd be really interested in that transition.
The Council of Nicaea was the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, like, from what I get, like, because the Romans did like to document their shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there was a JC crucified at some point, but it's more likely that JC was not Jesus Christ, because why the fuck would they call him Christ?
Yeah.
But Julius Caesar.
Well, I think at that time, were they crucifying hundreds or thousands of people?
They were crucifying everybody.
Yeah.
There was crucifixes all over town.
Yeah.
It was a warning, you screw up, this is what happened. And people didn't get the message, and more of them went up, and they weren't getting, a lot of people did. It kept people in line, obviously.
I mean, the Roman Empire.
It just shows no matter what, there's always going to be people that screw up, even when you have people crucified right there at the gates to the city or whatever with a clear message, And you've seen it in some of the cowboy movies, right, where they've got somebody propped up outside of town, right? Yeah, screw around in this town, this is what happens, right? And there would still be people screwing up. So when they say, death penalty or harsher penalties or any of that stuff, it's not proven to work.
The Roman Empire was conquering everybody, right? And so the Roman Empire had occupied these people. The Jews were their prisoners, essentially. And although they weren't all locked up and all that stuff, they had taken the town, and they had taken Israel. And so what happens is there's this group that comes out of this, the Christians, that are looking for hope because they're in such a bad place at the time. The Romans are letting the Jews carry on doing all their Jewish stuff because, they said, well, that religion's been here forever. Let them continue. That keeps it, that keeps down the violence and doesn't cause problems. Let them continue. This group comes out of it, and all this stuff about Jesus being the savior and stuff is all talk about saving them from the situation that they're in. And so as it gives people hope. So there becomes a following because they've got something to put hope into. And then they end up having, why do you think they wanted to find Jesus and they paid Judas and all that stuff in the story? I mean, like this is just a story, just like the rest of the stories from Judaism of how it's like there's this horrible oppression and they come out of it with God's gonna fight their battle for them in some way. And it's just another case of that, and it caused a movement because it was a people who were without hope and they were looking to put it in anything. And so this movement starts, and it leads to them trying to fight with Rome, the most powerful empire on earth at the time. So,
and if you tell a story when you're like 20 years old or 24 years old, and people keep repeating it for years and years and changing it to the point where it becomes like something completely different than what really happened, and
Right.
you the person who started that story encounter that story right now that it's been mythologized, okay, and you're like, yeah, maybe that did happen, and you start to basically your own memory becomes modified, and they could have been running around believing their own legend, right?
Sure.
After a
But the
while.
way that they wrote at the time, so this type of mythology was common in that area of the world at this time. Everybody was writing their own things, and there was always empty tombs and all of that, because the empty tomb has a significance in mythology. That's why they do that. That's why it's there. That's why it's in all these other, because there was a number of other stories of other resurrections and other messiahs from other groups at the exact same time. And it's because this is where mythology was at that moment. And Rome had all kinds of mythology too. And you can't forget that Rome, while occupying Israel, is also influencing their culture with Roman culture. So you get this mixture of things that is kind of like the Roman mythology, but at the same time it's got all of these things in it. The empty tomb is to me is the number one reason to believe it's mythology. Because that was a storytelling thing they did. It had a significance, a symbology.
And there was no damn tomb.
No, there may have been somebody that they followed, but the character Jesus of the Bible was never a real person at all. There's no reason to suggest he was.
But he's going to provide some evidence here. I think he's coming up on it.
Oh, I bet he is.
Here it goes.
A dungeon. So we're to expect that they lied for 40 years for something they knew was not true when it didn't make them rich. But anyway, the very limited, piecemeal, and defective empirical understanding of the universe is used by the atheist to judge all fields of knowledge and philosophy. His rudimentary, finite, errant conclusions are used to make universal truth statements about the seen and the unseen, God and the spiritual realm. His use of empiricism as a guide to all truth is used in a partisan, prejudiced manner to justify his innate hostility and hatred of God and divine revelation.
Manel?
There it is again.
Manel?
I ask you for evidence, and you say you hate God.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's reasonable to ask for evidence. It's
yeah. But what's a manel? What's a manel? Okay, partisan prejudice manel to justify his innate hostility and hatred of God. Ooh.
Word salad.
Yeah. Yeah, he wrote that when he was high, probably. He's probably smoking a doobie when he wrote that.
He's proud of that.
He's proud of it, yeah.
Yeah, the mantle's where you put your trophy, right?
Yep. Well, his hair's gotten a lot better in the last 14 years.
He assumes, once again, a priori, before the facts are even considered, that if God exists, he cannot reveal himself to man in propositional form.
What?
God cannot reveal himself in a propositional form.
He can't reveal himself in any way.
Well, he did. There's people in the Bible he revealed himself to and talked to people and gave people stone tablets and stuff, you know?
There's the claim that he did.
Yeah, and that he told them to kill their son.
Yeah. Build a big magic zoo boat.
Yeah.
Magic zoo boats.
Spoke from the clouds or something like that, right? And said, Noah, you need to build this big boat. Noah said, what are you talking about? Build the big boat. Okay. Magic zoo boat. I'm still waiting for Jim Bob to explain it to me. He just He's awful shy. Joe and Jess have it covered, though. They've been covering Ken Ham on. Is that going to be a Friday thing, Joe? Is that what you're doing?
Every Friday until July.
Every Friday. Okay.
Oh, you're doing Ken Ham. Cool. I want to listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing their
We call it
spoiled ham.
spoiled ham. Yeah.
Spoiled ham. Yep.
Yeah.
So if you needed your fill of Ken Ham, Friday nights over at Joe's channel with Jess.
It's just that it's you know, it's fun to poke at Ken Ham, and then also it's a chance for me to promote Ark Encounter protest this year. So that's why we're doing it like that.
Yeah, and then that too, Joe's going to be taking up the ARC protest this year. Lots of information over on his channel. Make sure if you're interested in that you follow him over there.
We confirmed a new speaker today. Vost Rhino is going to be there.
Oh, no shit.
Godless Engineer is going to be there. Aaron Raw is going to be there. Chris Mallard's going to speak.
Aaron loves the ARC protest.
Oh yeah. Hey, I've already talked to Aaron and arranged it with him and stuff. But and Secular Rarity will be there. Who else? There's a couple others, but yeah, we've already confirmed a bunch of big time speakers.
Dave, I've got to thank you. I'm starting to get tired, and I'm on call tomorrow, so and that's in like 6 hours for me. So
yeah, we're about
for being here, for having me here as well, and like educating me. Thanks, people in the side chat.
It's always our pleasure to have you, Brainless. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Good night.
You have a good night.
So I got a picture here of Reverend Scharley when he was like 14 years ago. He lost a lot of weight. He got gray. He quit parting his hair down the middle.
He looks like dollar store JD Vance.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. Ryan Scharley. Oh, and he's got his phone number on there. Shit, man, we can call him.
Oh boy.
Oh my God, we can call him.
I wonder if it's any good anymore.
I don't know. It might be. You never know. Somebody like I've had the same cell number for like 15, 20 years. I don't know. Yeah. I think I'm going to call him.
That's from like the 80s.
Yeah. Well, no, this is 13 years ago. So what is that? 2011? Yeah.
That's an awful suit.
It is. You ought to see how suits evolved through the years.
I thought it was from the 80s.
He lost some weight. Yeah. Okay, it wasn't. It was from the teens.
It's getting close to 8 anyways. So we'll a couple minutes here and we can wrap things up because
I got to get out of here pretty quick.
We can't get Mike's blood pressure up too high. We gotta watch the blood pressure.
Calm down. I need a nap.
I'll quit sidetracking things for the last little bit here.
No, you're fine, Joe. You're
on the worst side.
All good.
Don't worry.
No, you guys had a good little conversation going there. It's all good.
I predict these
guys. We'll get to it when we get to their ripping the Bible on ethics. They don't know their Bibles. They don't know what they're talking about. They're idiots.
Oh.
Another prediction.
An epistemology is chosen that consider
harsh.
Yeah. I'm hurt.
I know.
Yeah, I'm hurt.
A dummy and an idiot and a cockroach and a scumbag. We're gonna have to put a list. I'm gonna have to get a list from all the videos we've done and put it up.
They don't know their Bibles. Like this is like childish, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like,
well, he already, I said, he's at the beginning of this, he's very full of himself. So I'm sure how he reads the Bible is the right way to read the Bible. So you're wrong. So there you go.
I wonder who his audience is. Who does he think he's talking to? His flock? Maybe he has a flock.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Give us some more.
Yeah, the little bio I ran at the beginning, he seems to like to roll around different churches and give guest sermons or whatever they call it.
Here's a transcendent revelation from an infinite personal God impossible. Yet without an exhaustive knowledge of the whole creation, both visible and spiritual, such truth claims are impossible.
Once again, if you don't know everything, you can't know anything. And this is kind of like a Darth Dawkins type argument, isn't it?
It's a precept argument.
Yeah.
Because it's assuming the creation is true and then saying, well, if they don't know everything about this creation that's obviously true, then they can't speak on it anyway. And it's like, yeah, but if the creation isn't true, then none of that means anything. You just talked out your ass.
Yep.
They are speculations on a very limited, defective, unproven scientific analysis of the universe around us.
Projection.
And we're reminded of the illustration, and now I've made it myself, but think of a flea on the tail of an elephant or a fly or something. And all he's seen his whole life is that tail on the elephant.
Yep, that's a Christian.
He doesn't think that tusks exist or the elephant's head or ears or eyes or...
If it never went exploring, yes, and that's what science does, and that's why it launched that telescope into space that you don't like. Because,
does he not know flies can fly?
Yeah, well, even if it couldn't, though, if the fly wanted to investigate, the fly could put a space telescope up to look at the other end of this elephant or whatever and see that it has tusks. That's what we did with the telescope that he doesn't like. If we dare go looking for this information on what's way over there, he wants to stay on the tip of that tail. He doesn't want to find out what's on the other end.
So in this metaphor about the fly living on the elephant's ass, in the metaphor, does that make God the asshole?
It's an old one. It's a flea lives on a dog, and the fleas are standing around and they're saying, I don't believe there's a dog.
Yeah.
Feet. He doesn't believe any of that exists because all he's seen is a tail. And that's what the atheist would like.
No. An atheist doesn't believe in God. Anything you add to it is a straw man. We're getting tired of repeating this. I'm getting tired of repeating this. I've made a couple of videos repeating this. Atheists don't believe in God. It doesn't make you a scientist. It doesn't make you not a scientist. It doesn't make you a good or a bad scientist. It just means you don't believe in God.
It's amazing that just claiming that I'm not convinced of what you're saying or what your book says somehow adds all these other things to it that he's thrown in there. Like me saying, I don't believe you. And then that means that
where'd the universe come from, Joe? Where'd the universe come from? No, Joe, where'd the universe come from? You don't believe in God, you gotta know where the universe came from.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he's in this very limited, defective, unproven scientific analysis of the universe around us. So he's just constantly nailing science here, like we know nothing. And it's what the fuck.
He doesn't seem to like much of anybody. Like I say, he doesn't like other religions or non-believers. He doesn't like science, and he sure doesn't like other, denominations or anybody that's outside of what he believes. So he really doesn't very many people.
The standard that he's setting here is that it's, they believe these things and it's not supported by science and all that. That's the standard he's setting. So whenever we turn that around and say, okay, well, what's your evidence for the thing that you're claiming? How does that then make us idiots and all that other stuff, right? Because it's like, I'm accepting the standard that you're putting forward. You're talking about evidence and science and what we see and all that. So he has two options at that point. Well, three kind of, but he either doesn't have support, he does, or he attacks science then at that point. And I mean, all these things that he adds on to being an atheist just because I don't believe you and I'm talking about it in the standard that you want to speak about it in. and somehow that makes me an idiot
And
because you don't live up to your own
Rochelle
standards.
says right from his website, it's definitely YEC, 6 literal days, 24 days of creation, a young earth, and a worldwide flood. Yeah, I was getting the hints of what he was saying, that he definitely leaned that way.
Oh my God, this is 55 minutes long. And at the end, he says a prayer. He says a prayer at the end. Jesus' name. Okay.
I cut the prayers off, but we're never going to get that far.
Okay. But I always want to. Okay, dear
I've got
son,
two of
Jesus
these.
Christ.
I got 2 of these.
In Jesus' name, amen. And the cults and all kinds of crazy things that are obviously false. But we, Lord dwelling, will continue this. Let us.
This is a 2-parter.
Ooh, oh no.
He's serious.
Oh my God, he's serious. Oh my God.
Yeah, and if I have, like I pointed out earlier, he's got 1,300 subs, but he's got 1,400 some videos. He's very busy. Impressive.
Hey, Dave,
that's a lot of videos.
I have to bail, Dave. I have to go take some Tylenol and stuff.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just a beaten man. This beat me down. Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here, but I'm gonna see one more thing here, and it'll be time.
Okay,
anyway,
I'll listen. I'll listen while I stuff Tylenol down my throat.
Okay.
My shoulder's killing me. Okay, later.
All right, Mike. See you later.
Later, Mike.
Sam Harrison and atheistic courts are like a flea in the back of a large dog that denies that dogs exist, but they've never.
Yeah, see, there's the joke right there. It's a joke. Get it? They deny dog exists.
It's a dog.
They're missing the dog joke, right? It's God backwards. It's a joke. It's a joke. You're not getting the joke.
Because they have never observed a dog.
Yeah, spell
the
it
atheist
backwards.
will not simply appeal to science as if it can provide a comprehensive, cohesive, valid understanding of reality based on a study of the facts, which we have seen as a myth, but will also appeal to autonomous human reason. We are told that principles of logic and the canons of reason will give man the truth and will explain reality, life, and ethics.
That would be nice. I think a lot of people want these things explained. People want answers to questions. Even religious people do.
Yeah, we have standards that we use to explain things.
Again, I don't see where any of this goes other than he's just angry at atheists because they don't believe what he believes. And it's like,
if he wants to say logic and reasoning is a poor way for us to the poor standard for us to use to approach, a question, then maybe he can provide a better one other than God did it and I have no evidence.
Absolutely.
Now we must keep in mind that Bible-believing Christians have never been opposed to the correct use of logic or reason. Paul and every good Christian minister uses reason in his study and presentation of the Scriptures, Acts 17:2, 18:4, and 19, and 24:25. The problem arises from the fact that logic or reason is procedural and cannot account for axioms or first principles. It's a way to look to try to figure out whether a proposition is true, but it doesn't give you the first principle, the axiom.
That's completely wrong. All that.
Yeah.
That's not logic. Doesn't prove to you what's true. It allows you to rule out the incoherent. That's why pre-suppers, the philosophy bros, that's why they fail so hard, is because they try to use pure philosophy to prove something is true, and that's it. You can't do it with philosophy alone. Philosophy doesn't, and logic doesn't tell you what's true. It tells you what's nonsense, and it doesn't. It never has worked that way. I don't know why he said that.
Yeah, and Rochelle points out he's got lots of good videos. Yeah, Mike and I were talking about that earlier. And like this here, this is 2 parts, and each video is like 50 minutes. You can chop off, the prayer at the end and get a little, couple minutes.
He seems like such a pleasant guy.
He's like this through the whole video. You know what I mean?
Is he always mad?
I think he's always mad. Yeah, he's always mad. All right, we're gonna get one more shot here, and then it's 8:00. So we like to wrap things up around 8:00.
Right, he's gonna give evidence now, right?
So we're giving one more shot here. So we're not giving up hope on you yet, Rev. Although I'm not giving any odds.
A person can use logic almost perfectly, but if his first principles are erroneous, his conclusions will always be false.
Okay.
This reality explains why the era of rationalism produced a wide variety of contradictory, competing, radically different worldviews. The atheists, they don't agree with each other. They have wild differences of opinion on ethics, right and wrong, how the state should work.
That's what
is
makes it a better system.
They're not in agreement at all.
Well, so do believers. This again, believers have different, all these same things. This is not separating.
There's 40,000 denominations of your religion, and you're talking about we don't agree.
Yeah, and well, no two people. Well, maybe some do, but no two people should agree on absolutely everything. That's what makes you an individual, right? You like a different flavor of ice cream or different toppings on your pizza, right? That's what makes things so great. Yeah.
So he talks about if the first premise of what they're talking about is wrong, then everything that they come up with is going to be wrong. But the first premise of his position is God exists. And if that's wrong, then all this other stuff is not only wrong, but it turns out that then religion is the most evil thing man ever created. And all the killing and all the things that's been done in the name of religion, for a God that doesn't exist, turns out to be a really evil bunch of shit. And the I'm not sure, like, it's always projection with these guys, though. I mean, I'm not surprised, but
yeah, and the best they got is whataboutism, which again, it's not a winning argument. It's just saying, well, we're not as bad as these. Our religion isn't as bad as these other ones. It's okay, good for you, right? And they say the same thing. He's just very hardcore that his version is the right way or it's the highway. And like you pointed out, even Christians are going to disagree about doctrines.
So whenever we weigh out the importance of different things, we do that based on our experience, and that can change over time. So all Christians, all theists that believe in a God, define that God into existence themselves, and then they weigh out what things are more important, less important, and that gives you a different God for every person that believes it, because there is no standard. So then they take and whenever, even within the same denomination of religion, each one of those people believes something different. They believe some sins are better than other sins, and Catholics, you can drink and have sex and do whatever and say you're sorry on Sunday. Like it's everybody has a different view on how that works, though, and he's not really saying anything profound here. He's like, atheists do these things, and it's like, yeah, so do you.
Yeah,
we don't agree on everything. The one thing we do agree on, we agree on one thing. See, they can't even agree on what God is. We all agree, though, that we're not convinced that God's true, no matter the many ways it's been defined. Every God I've been presented with, I'm not convinced is true. Is there one that I could be presented with that I might believe is true? Maybe. I mean, not likely, but maybe. I mean,
that's what he spent most of this video basically saying, that believers and non-believers have all the same things, the same evidence, the same all these things that are the same, but the only thing separating it is if you don't believe in his version, Presbyterian, I think it is, if you're not in
Pelagian?
if you're not in that line, then you're just wrong about everything else. It just equates to now you're wrong about everything else if you just don't follow Jesus as he thinks. And that just doesn't follow because he already explained everybody can be completely different anyways.
Oh yeah, yeah. Is it Calasia or
Rochelle.
Rochelle. You're talking about standing for truth. I'm getting ready to do a recorded video on something that Raw Matt put out that is absolutely going to show. First of all, it's going to completely destroy what he says, but that's easy. It's going to show that he's a liar. Going to show that he's knowingly lying.
Yeah, Rochelle hinted me in a while back because we had trouble figuring out how to pronounce Calasia.
Yeah, well, I knew the name Rochelle, and I just
Rochelle we got down.
Yeah,
yeah, Donnie Deals.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to completely destroy Matt. He has the what is it called? Creation, his channel anyway, but he releases everything with the opening standing for truth ministries.com. And anyway, I'm getting ready to make him like show that he knows he's lying. I caught him. And the
username is a gamer name. Gotcha.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's all good. We're going to skip to the very end here, and because I think he says something right here at the end. And then
okay. Obvious that they're destroying their cities. There's a guy on YouTube, some Mexican guy. I really like him. He goes to all these cities around the country run by Democrats, and he shows you what their downtowns are like. Downtown San Francisco's empty.
Uh-oh.
New York, sections are empty. San Jose, huge sections that 30 years ago were just jammed with people and prosperous. They're empty. Because when you worship the criminal and you punish a law-abiding citizen because you're a Marxist and an atheist in your thinking, you destroy society.
All right.
What? He named the most populated concentrations in the country. Like they're not empty.
And like I say, yeah, it's a shame we couldn't get through more of this video. Well, we might come back because, like Rochelle pointed out, there's a lot of material here. Yeah, so you can see that, where else this is going to, right?
Yeah. We'll stop there. But I hope that helps. They don't have a foundation to stand on as far as their theory of knowledge. They're not truly scientific. It's a religious faith.
Oh boy.
And they don't know anything about the Bible. They misrepresent the Bible big time. And they lump it in with Islam and the cults and all kinds of crazy things that are obviously false.
That's how he ended his video. Right from there, then he goes, okay, let's go into prayer. Amen, Father. That's literally, that's where I cut it off. And he just goes right into a prayer after saying that. So
isn't that the pot calling the kettle a Democrat?
Yeah. So he's obviously very, very right wing, very evangelical. It appears. Rochelle looked it up. He is YEC. So yeah, Magic Zoo Boat, all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, and I like Nerdy Rodent's take on it here, and I've been using this a bit. Is you want to argue that it's a religion, the evolution or atheism or whatever is a religion, and you're dogging us for that, but yours definitely is a religion. So what's the problem?
I never got that either. Well, our favorite Ken Ham likes to do that too.
Yeah,
I'm rubber, you're glue, right? He just turns it right around. Well, you just have a religion too, and it's like, but isn't that diminishing your religion, right? And when you call everything a religion, then it doesn't mean anything anymore. When I was growing up, it meant something if you were religious. You know what I mean? If you were a nun or a priest or something like that, it was like, even for me, it was like, wow, that's respectable. Believe it or not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody dedicates themselves. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that are doing bad things. I'm talking about the good ones, okay? The ones that don't do bad things.
Are you going to set up the No True Scotsman for him, Dave?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a honorable thing, right? You give up your life, you know what I mean? You live,
Yeah.
within a small budget, you know what I mean? And you serve the people and the running the orphanages, all that kind of stuff. And it's like,
Well, in the
but
Bible Belt, pastors have more respect and power than
yeah,
mayors or representatives. Like if you're the pastor of a big church, you carry as much power as any one of those people. So, yeah, it was the problem. It was a position of respect, but then the internet came along and put information at our fingertips, right? And so we were able to find out that a lot of those things were lies, especially with the creationist stuff. And so then it's like, okay, you've been lying to me this whole time, whether knowingly or unknowingly. You've been telling me things that aren't true. Why did you pretend to know that they were? And so they don't like that challenge now, that it's coming
that's what
back
Ed
on 'em.
talks about when he was at seminary or whatever it's called, the education he was going through. Don't ask those questions, right? Just don't ask those questions.
Yeah.
And that's sad. But but this thing of overall on this video, though, he's trying to make a separation, and I don't think he did it right. He just pointed out that atheists and religious people can both have good and bad things, can both be scientists or not scientists, right on down the line. And the only thing I've seen that he was separating is that he's angry at anybody that doesn't believe in his religion. That's all I got. His arguments weren't good. A lot of the stuff he repeated was wrong. He doesn't have people's names right. It's Richard Dawkins. Okay.
What did he
Stephen
call him?
Hawking. He called him Hawkins.
Hawkins.
Hawkins, yeah. And he mixed up the Hubble and the James Webb. And again, I can see mixing these things up or whatever, But, you made a lot of mistakes. And you seem to have notes in front of you. So, maybe check your notes, right? Because I'm picking on you. Because you called me names. You said I'm an idiot.
Yeah, well, I mean, again,
dog returning to its vomit and all this kind of stuff. It's like, that's not very nice, right?
it's the standard that he's setting. He says he wants to talk about it in this way with these things, and he sets that standard. So if he wants to set and call us idiots and stuff, I mean, it's fair game to set.
Well, the Bible says so, Joe. It says we're fools because we don't believe in the invisible things that are clearly seen. What's wrong with us?
Well,
how dare you ask for evidence?
I would say there's some pushback on what those verses actually mean, first of all. but second, yes, I understand what the Bible says, because even though he says that I may not know my Bible or whatever, I understand that it says those things. The thing I'm trying to tell you is it and you and your God are all three full of fucking shit. Like that's the point. Like,
and I want to know what I'm suppressing in my unrighteousness too. I have yet for anybody to tell me what I'm doing that's so unrighteous. So.
The late great Christopher Hitchens said, "Can you, as a theist, is there anything you could do or say that I, as an atheist, cannot?" And there isn't. I mean, it gives you no superior position to say I believe in God. But are there things that theists do that atheists can? The answer to that is the things they do in the name of God and all that stuff that just isn't. Atheism doesn't have those things because there isn't a dogma and doctrine and all those things attached to it. So there's nothing that I can't do that you can do, but there's plenty of things you do that I can't, right? I know that sounds confusing, but it's The other way around, though, is bad for them, because if you look at the history of it and stuff, and again, it seems that there's no reason to suggest a God exists. It's right up there with leprechauns and Santa Claus and flat Earth and all that stuff. Is all it's all on the same level. You might as well have just woke up today and made it all up. That's how much credibility the things in the Bible has. And the fact that you believe it is fine, but you want to call me an idiot because I'm not convinced by your horrible reasoning for believing in those things. Like, I get indoctrination as a thing and all that, but I don't believe you isn't all those other things that he said it is. It's just,
Or that
so,
we hate you and we want to persecute you and we hate God and we hate Jesus
yeah.
and we hate the mention of the word and on down the list, right?
The Christian right now controls our House, our Senate, the executive, and the judiciary. Okay, they are so fucking persecuted, right?
Yeah.
The Speaker of the House calls himself fucking Moses. Like they are so persecuted, right? They control everything and have power.
Two churches right up here on the corner, right next door to each other.
Yeah, and it's
so
like,
persecuted. I'm over there with my sign all the time, No, I'm
yeah, yeah, over there. Go out and persecute some Christians today.
Go ahead, and they're often at the corner store too, when they're having charity things or whatever, And
they're everywhere.
I say here, here's my change, or whatever. Here's $1 or whatever they're asking for.
And they think it's appropriate to
it's all
walk
good.
up. They think it's appropriate to walk up to you and be like, "Oh, that thing didn't work out. You need Jesus. It's because you don't have." They think it's appropriate to say shit like that to people, and it's just not. It's not. You don't walk up to people and tell them that they need to believe in the imaginary friend that you have, because it's better, and all their failures are because they don't believe in your imaginary friend.
I don't hate you, Pastor, okay? And I don't hate your God or anything. What we hate, so to speak, and I use the term loosely,
God of atheism,
is, we have a problem with horrible stories in your book that you seem to think are wonderful for some reason. That's troubling, okay?
Yeah.
And beyond that, it's keep your nose out of people's business, keep your nose out of politics, and keep your nose out of telling other religions that they're a bunch of crazy nonsense in a country where you have freedom of religion, because you seem to forget the only reason you can call them crazy religions is because they're not in charge. If they were, they might not allow you to say that their religion is crazy in 1,400 videos. Okay, you got to remember it cuts both ways, right? Okay, yeah. You get to say what you want to say. People of other religions get to say what they want to say, and I say go ahead as long as you aren't bothering anybody. Now, my anti-theism is another issue. I'm talking about in the reality we live in. Religion isn't going to go away tomorrow, right? We live in a country with a lot of religious people, okay? I'm not denying reality. I don't think things are going to... Now, I'm anti-theism. I think the world would be a better place without it. But in the meantime, you can't have this, nationalist attitude thing in a country that's not supposed to be that. We're supposed to be the melting pot. Right?
Here's the thing. If I come home every evening and I believe in pink dragons, who cares, right? But then if I have a position of power and I start making things, I only want to do things for the people that believe in the pink dragons I believe in. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't believe in pink dragons, then you're a heathen. You're this and that if you don't believe in the thing I do. And even though, and no matter what justification I have for it, it doesn't matter. Going and telling other people that I'm going to make laws that you have to follow based on the thing that I believe, and you have to respect this thing that I believe, when it doesn't deserve that respect in any way. There's no reason to show any respect to any religion.
And
they
don't wave
want to
and
be
don't wave the
offended.
flag. Yeah, and don't wave the flag and the Constitution behind it in this country
Yeah.
either, because that doesn't fly either.
Well, right. Then they try to say, well, if you don't believe in the thing I believe, then you're not American. Like
Right.
all these other, non sequitur shit.
Stop doing that. We got to get along, okay? And it's a big planet, okay, with lots of cultures and beliefs and all this stuff. And
Theism
all
has
the talk
fundamentally
about
made the world a worse place. That's just not true.
the isolation and the them over there and them over there and all this stuff, that's not the way to go forward. We have to come together. It's a global community. We will all be better off if we start working that way.
Here's the thing: if we talk just factual stuff and numbers alone, the number, and this includes all religions, not any one particular one, but the number of people that have lost their lives in the name of various gods, and the number of wars that it started. There's one going on right now, and if it turns out that your theistic beliefs aren't true, that makes this the most evil thing the world has ever seen. The most awful thing that man has ever done to each other is religion. So, that's I'm a little more.
And one more reason that Joe is taking care of the ARC protest this year, because Joe and I and a lot of others believe that what they push is dangerous as well.
Yeah.
They not only push their religious beliefs that are very bigoted, they push anti-science, and they target children with bigotry. They're teaching the children to be bigots in this country in the 21st century. Yeah. It's awful. It is really awful.
Yeah. They've gotten into homeschooling, and they're making millions of dollars by stifling the education of children.
They're reaching kids with a lot of money. They have deep pockets, and a lot of us are all behind the ARC protest, and I'm hoping to get there myself along with a lot of other folks. And again, if you're interested in that, if you're interested in that, make sure you're following Joe over on his channel, The Kentucky Atheist, so you're getting all the updates on what's going on.
It's gonna be a big one. So the tri-state freethinkers are the ones that have organized this in the past, and I have all the stuff that they used to do it. So it'll be similar to that in setup. But the biggest event they had was at the very first one when the ARC first opened, and it was about 100 people, and I think we're going to crush that. I'm expecting from the guests and the people that are behind this with me, I'm expecting a few hundred people to show up. I'm expecting a rather large event.
Let's make it more than that.
Everybody
out there, if you can, July 6th, set that day aside. If you're within means to hop in the car and get over there,
so
it's kind of complicated
because the 4th is Friday, and I'm booking all the hotels for Saturday and Sunday. So people are probably not going to feel great on Saturday, but we're hopefully people make it out for it and stuff. And I think actually during that busy weekend like that is a better time to do it, because people are out already traveling and stuff, and it's nothing to swing by there and do it. A lot of the locals down there, I'm going to be joining Facebook groups and stuff for the Williamstown area, and I'm going to get the locals to show out too, because a lot of the locals down there hate what that place has done to their town. It's destroyed this small town in Kentucky. I think it's going to be a big deal, man. I think we're well on our way. I've got some really there's some people I can't announce that are supposed to be there and stuff, and that are definitely going to be helping with the fundraising and the advertising and stuff. And needless to say, I think when it's all said and done, that the planning of this event is going to reach hundreds of thousands of people. So there's a good chance that this is going to be huge, and we're doing things. Secular Rarity just talked about this with Punk Apostate Brentley tonight.
I saw that. Yeah.
The here in the South, we're well, I say South, but whether you call Kentucky South or not, but in the Bible Belt area, we're tired of the horrible things that religion has caused, and we're holding as many events as we can, and we're getting the word out and getting as many people down here to protest this stuff in the heart of where it lives. So yeah, come join us.
Old Joe wants to know if we found out, did we decide if Sam Harris is ignorant? Mostly he's just mad at atheists and other religions, and he's mad at science, and he has a view that if you're not a Christian, you can't do good science. You're lying, or you're in on a conspiracy or something. It got kind of weird where he trying to figure out what his thing was with science. But YEC, they tend to not like certain things like the Big Bang and evolution. And of course, those are the two things he was talking about, was the Big Bang and evolution. So,
yeah. Well, when he made the ad hominem attacks there in the last couple things we watched, you could see the rage for a minute. Like he let it show. He tried to read it like that, but you could see he was actually mad whenever he was calling us names and stuff.
He has a part 2 to this, so maybe we'll do the part 2 another time or something.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more to say that we should take a look at, and it's just impossible when he makes an hour-long video to get through it. I mean, Joe knows, right? You try to get through an hour-long, even by yourself, that takes a long time. So
we take an hour with Ken Ham's videos that we do are 5 minutes long. It takes an hour to get through it.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot more he had to say. And to be fair, we will revisit him like we did with Mr. Peace. And we have some plans to revisit some other, like Wayne from last week. I'm giving everybody a little more time. You got to do your manifesting, okay? And you got to get to ketchup bottle level or toaster level and let us know, okay? And then we'll revisit Wayne and we'll listen to some more stuff that Wayne has about manifesting and toasters, and because it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of laughs, and there was a couple other ones folks have brought up too. So if I don't stumble across something like this and I'm looking for something, we just might set up a revisit on some of these folks that we had a good time covering the first time.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
It's not our fault that they make a joke out of the thing they believe, right? Like,
and you turn off the comments section, and that I can't make a comment. So now I can make a comment. Yeah. And I want to thank my brain. I'm always getting it the wrong way. Here we go. I'm going to learn it one of these days. It's where my microphone is. It's where your microphone is. Okay. I want to thank my brain for helping me out a lot. So for what it's worth, I brought my extra brain.
Yeah.
And we tried to dissect your arguments and listen to what you had to say. But again, I think it was a wash. I think all you said was everybody on both sides can be either way on everything. But if you aren't a Christian, then everything else is wrong. Just didn't win your argument. All you're just saying is you think your religion is right. But at the same time, you said that religious people can be wrong. Atheists can be wrong. Religious people can be right. And atheists can be right. So I think in the end, it was just a wash. You didn't win an argument. And I don't think you demolished Sam Harris, or what was it again? Is Sam Harris an ignorant fool? I don't think you demonstrated that. I just don't think you like that Sam Harris mocks religious beliefs, because it seemed to make you angry when you mentioned that he mocks religious beliefs. Well, yes, sometimes mockery is involved, and he also has a lot of other things to say. He writes books on it and gives, speeches and everything. So he has a lot more to say than just that.
Yeah.
And I want to, again, go to Joe's channel, subscribe. Mike from Answers in Atheism was here. Subscribe over there. Brainless was here with us. He's often over as Slim Cyborg. So we promote Slim Cyborg's channel. And we should just support Slim Cyborg because it's a fun channel. Go check out over there. Who am I missing? Simos is usually here. He couldn't make it this week. And Scott Duke is still healing up from that. See, I still got a little tickle too from that bug that was going around. I think I had the same thing.
I'm getting sick.
So his voice was out on him, but he stopped by to say hello. And usually Scott's here and we have a good time, Scott, too.
I'm in the middle of catching a cold right now.
It's going around and it kind of lingers around, and messes with your throat.
I tell you what, as much as I dislike public schools, like especially in my area, I mean, they graduate kids that can't read and write and stuff, and they're just there's a lot of bad things to the public schools in this area, right? As much as I hate it, I think kids go to school and they pick up that social experience and they learn to communicate with each other, and I think there's a lot of good things that come out of it, regardless of how bad the education is. But that being said, dude, having a young kid going to school is like having a virus factory come home every day, like
yeah, it is.
They go and touch everything, and every little sick shit there at school gives them everything, and it's always just cold until they get to about like 5th, 6th grade, and then that starts to back off some. But yeah, my kid's in kindergarten, so it's just like every week we got to fight off some other thing.
And they're all wiping their nose on their sleeve. And...
yeah, picking their nose and my girlfriend gets mad at me because, like, if my kid gets a bag of chips or something and he sticks his hand in it and eats out of them, I won't eat them. I won't eat them after that. And I'm like, I'm not eating after him. And she's like, that's your kid. And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I remember when my boys were younger and they would get into something. It's like, did you wash your hands before you got into that? And they'd give you that look, and it's like, yeah, I ain't eating any more of that.
Yeah.
Mental note, no more of those chips or whatever.
I don't love him any less. I just ain't eating after him.
Yeah. Because I knew he was just out playing in the backyard with the dogs or something, and now he's got his hand in the chips. So.
I mean, if especially like my kid's 6. It's a little less of this now since he's 6, but it wasn't too long ago that every time you seen him, he had his hand down one side of his pants or the other, like
that too. Yep.
And it's like, no, thank you, sir.
They're just learning how to go and hold it and all that kind of stuff. And it's like the cleanliness part is not the priority. The priority is just taking care of business. Yeah.
Mine went from running around the house showing it to everybody to now you walk in the bathroom or something and he's in there and he's, don't look at me.
Like overnight. Yeah.
Yeah, he's shy all of a sudden, which, whatever. I don't care. But
it's like, I used to wash that thing. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. And like my son and I, we're really close. Like I put him to bed every night when he was a kid. I've changed his diapers for years and did everything with him, So even to this day, he won't lay down and go to bed unless I lay down with him because he's done it every night of his life. And so, I mean, but still, he's like, he's getting all shy about stuff and things. And I'm like, dude, nobody gives a shit nobody cares if you're pissing in the toilet. Do it. We're glad you're doing it. Go for it.
Happy to hear it. Yes. Yeah. Hitting it and everything. Not missing. Yes. Win-win.
Yeah.
You hit the
Yeah.
target and everything. Awesome.
Kids are a trip, man.
Well, with that, good little anecdotes there about having kids. If you haven't had kids yet, when you do, you're looking for a lot of fun and experiences that you would never imagine before. When your kid runs out in the room naked and takes a whiz right there on the floor.
You know what I think's funny is people who are like, we're not ready to have a kid. We're waiting. Like, there's not a good time to have a kid. Like, there's not. You're never gonna. I mean, maybe some rich people do or whatever. I guess they get bored, but like, the you know, some people don't want kids, and that's fine too. And you know, like, it's one of those things. Like, if given the choice, I never would have had kids, but I do, and it has its own, you know, rewards and good things and bad things, like anything. You know, it's an experience all the same as anything else. And you try to make the best of it, and I think that from the, like, carrying the humanist perspective and stuff, that you try to leave the world a little better than you found it. Like, with kids, that really gives you an opportunity to put that into action, right? You teach your kids a little better than you were, and you try to give them a little more than you had, and all those things. And so I think there's you know, I can understand people who don't want kids, but at the same time, there's a rewarding side, and it's quite the experience, you know. And hell, I went through it twice now. I've got, my oldest boy is 18 and my youngest is 6.
My kids are 12 years apart, so
Yeah.
we basically,
that's what mine are.
my youngest, was in kindergarten when his brother was graduating high school. So we went through school nonstop, back to back, all those 24 years.
Yeah. Well, what is it? Hopefully Joe is doing decent for a stream with Dr. Kip tomorrow. If need to get him talking and swearing, can ask about Bodie Hodges. Okay, yeah.
That's what he was talking about with Dr. Dapper Dino earlier.
Well, I told Kip, I was like, obviously, I'm going to ask some questions about your expertise, and you know, I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit while I've got the opportunity, but it's just a laid back thing, like you know. So I do have some interesting questions to ask him, I think, about things that are quite different than most people ask him, but I think it applies more to the things that we talk about, and will give my audience some extra talking points on those things, you know, things we hear often and stuff. And we're going to talk a little bit about polytheism too, because I think that there's something there. I think there's some important stuff about Christianity, Judaism specifically, is not a monotheistic religion. The Bible talks about all kinds of other gods, and so if those other gods exist, it's a problem for if we're giving that a God exists, then those other gods have to exist too. In which case, God isn't the omni being that he says. God is maybe the bad guy even, but there's a lot of polytheism stuff in there. But there's a couple things I'm going to be sure to ask, and of course I'll try to, you know, field audience questions and stuff too. I think the nature of what we're going to talk about will probably stir up some questions. He's been dropping F-bombs all over during those streams, and don't blame him. Well, he'll fit right in at the Kentucky Atheist then, because I get demonetized like every other video. Like, for real, every other video I get a thing, and I get a little yellow thing that says my video is not friendly for advertisers.
Watch your mouth, young man.
Yeah, because it's a lot. It's surprising how many times I get demonetized. but also, I tend to say whatever's on my mind.
I cuss. I just try not to do it when I'm on YouTube, so you don't hear me cuss a lot. Once in a while I do, but
When I go other places, I cuss, but I don't cuss at people. On my
it's-
channel, I'll cuss at people.
that's just some advice I took, because religious people will tune you out if you're cussing, and
But
it's
well,
just,
yeah, no, and
it's
I
just
agree.
something I took to just try to
If
watch
your
my mouth. That's all.
if your goal is to get religious people to come talk to you, then yeah, that makes sense. It's not any. I don't give a fuck if any of them ever talk to me. I could care less.
I can tell somebody. I can tell somebody to f off, and I pointed it out, last week that
Oh,
I can
yeah,
do
right.
it. I can do it. Okay, I just choose not to. Okay, but I can say those things.
You and I
I try
actually-
to be a little more tactful with my humor, like having the big brain. There we go. By my microphone, Dave. By your microphone. Like by having the big brain here, because I'm a dum dum and I need help. It's all
Well,
good. I have a good laugh about it, right?
I think that some people were disappointed with what I had to say on the topic, that I wasn't more specific about some things, and okay, fine, but also
things seem to be all right. So
there's
again,
a lot there's a lot we didn't talk about. Other things happened.
I can take a joke, I can take a hit, I can take constructive criticism. If you've got issue with something I say, get a hold of me, right? I'm not hiding out, right? I'm accessible. I got the same name on other social media. Just reach out to me and we'll work it out and won't have any problems, right?
Yeah. I don't
That's all.
I mean, I'm always willing to talk to people, but I'm not gonna behave any differently for it, because I don't care if I do,
I'm not looking to fight with anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to have a good time, not dismissing that there's important issues out there. I know there's, but
that Lionheart
I like
dude
to have a
has been-
good time.
That Lionheart dude has been going around telling everybody he destroyed me in a debate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I must have missed it.
Yeah, it's like I don't. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not hating God over it, and I'm not hating unicorns over it, and I'm not hating giant brains over it. See, I got it right that time. Yeah, it's not that. It's just we got to talk to each other, because we got to work together. And in the end, whether you like people or not, that's what we got to do. So.
Well, I think it becomes a problem of, because I feel that way too, but also, like, I know that sentiment will never be reciprocated, though, right? That they always come into the argument with, I'm right and you're a stupid atheist. And one of the things that pisses me off more than anything is, like, I may be wrong about something, whatever, and I may have done any number of wrong things in my life, but calling me stupid when you don't know anything about me pisses me off. Call me a liar pisses me off even more, and they do that a lot too. But I don't.
Oh, yeah. And like I say, I just did at least my second video now responding to somebody that says I hate God. It's just like, and by like this person here, oh, you just hate God, and they always seem to be the one that's angry about it, right?
Yeah,
I'm just joking around, with the Bigfoot thing and all that stuff. I'm just joking around because I don't take it that seriously. Okay.
Yeah. If you don't believe in God, you don't give a shit about all that stuff. Like, who cares?
It's not going to change anything. When I get done here, I'm going to put my stuff away, and I'm going to put my green screen away, and you know what I mean? I'm going to go see my wife, and I'll probably have something to eat, and just like a Christian's going to do it. There's no difference. There's no difference. Okay. You got to knock it off with this stuff. I'm not getting off here. I was joking with my son the one day, something about, man, those those darn unicorns, they're sure getting one over on me. Burp, 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 right? I'm stomping around the house. Stupid unicorns with their horn and looking like a horse. What's up with that? Burp, 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 burp. Right? No,
their horn is perfectly in the middle of their head.
What's up with that, right?
By God, right?
What's up with that, anyways? Oh, with their perfect horn and all that.
Yeah.
It's like
rainbows and shit.
I'm not mad at the unicorns. I'm not mad at your God. I don't hate your God. Okay, even if your God exists, fine. I've already stated before, if your God exists outside of the universe and doesn't seem to do anything in our universe, I don't think it really makes any difference.
Well, you know who the atheists aren't even in the top 3 biggest enemies to Christianity, to use a specific religion. The number 1, I think you have the young earth creationists and the fundamentalists, and they go around saying these extreme crazy things and lying about science and biology and denying all of life sciences, and they say the stupidest stuff that they know isn't true. And what happens is that people see that. YouTube is a platform with billions of people on it. And so people see that and they say, well, that's an extreme thing. Let me look that up. And we want that, because when they start looking things up, they're going to find that none of it's true. And so I think it's actually, and this is just a hypothesis by me, it's not for sure, but it seems to me like this fundamentalist idea where they're saying all these extreme things is the very thing that's pushing people away. And then you have Islam, which is the fastest growing religion, and Christianity, which isn't a growing religion. So I mean, I'm not their enemy. I'm just not convinced the thing you say is true. I don't care that it's not true. I mean, it sucks that I went through the things I went through and so many others did too. And it's such a harmful thing. And we should be talking about it as a harmful thing. But other than that, like, I don't care really. I'm not your enemy.
A lot of the things that top the list for why people are leaving religion are all the things that Ken Ham promotes.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then he blames the atheists. It's like, you're the one, you're on top of the list of all the reasons. Atheism, or in a video from an atheist or a book or whatever, is way down the list. It's your anti-science, it's your bigotry, it's your hellfire, all those top list things there. People not being welcome and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Godless Granny tells this story about how she went to the Ark Encounter protest, and they had a sign, which I'm going to have this sign, and it said the Incest and Genocide Museum. And she said she looked at that sign and she said, oh, well, that's awful. And she said she stopped and thought about it though. And well, yeah, there's a lot of incest in the Bible, and but they shouldn't have put genocide. And then she stopped and thought, well, it was a big genocide, that's obviously there's multiple genocides in the Bible. And she said that was one of the turning moments for her, and so I'm happy to have that sign for it. But that's the thing, like, whenever, for example, even as a kid, if I had access to a cell phone and the internet in the palm of my hand, and I walk into the Ark Encounter and I see a dinosaur with a saddle on it, I'm going to look up on the internet something about dinosaurs. And when I do, I'm going to see, oh, dinosaurs didn't die 6,000 years ago. They died 65 million years ago, and man has only been around for about 150,000 years. So no, dinosaurs didn't have saddles. And that's the thing that they don't get. It's their extreme position that's doing the most damage to the thing that they're trying to push on everybody. So what they've resorted to is we're going to fill this auditorium with children, and we're going to make them repeat after us that the earth is 6,000 years old, evolution is a lie, and
billions of dead things buried in rock layers.
Yeah.
They got their mantras.
Ken Ham stands up. They literally do this. Ken
Over
Ham
and
stands
over.
there and says those things, and the kids repeat after him. And they pay they pay schools to come to the Ark or let them come for free. And it's just it's an awful thing that they're doing. So like, I don't care that people believe a thing. I care about what they're doing with that belief. And where I live anyway, they're doing really harmful, awful stuff. And it's part of the reason that our country's in the state that it's in. And I have a platform and people that like to watch my stuff, and the ability to reach out to these other people and work with all these other people that are going to come. I have the ability to do that. So if I can use my voice to not only speak out about Ken Ham and the creationist harm that they're doing to kids, but I can also use that platform as a call to action for people to be more active in town halls and local governments and school boards, and I can push all those other things too at that. They're all good things. So I feel like being in Kentucky gives me a unique opportunity to do those things. So that's why I'm doing it. I mean, it's just, to me, it was a no-brainer, you know. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm doing it, you know.
I'm hoping it turns out great. It sounds like it will. So
Yeah.
all hail Bigfoot, you know, it'll all go good. And I wanted, like I say, tomorrow you got Joe with Kip Davis. And I see I picked up a couple of subscribers. Welcome. Thank you very much. And if you like hanging out with us on Saturdays here, having a good time, like I say, most folks in the chat are all good folks, even if we don't agree. Hi, hello, good to see you too, right? It's all good. And then while you're subscribed to my channel, back up a little bit, because speaking of people that are into the fighting the fighting the pseudoscience, would be Austin Sims. I just had Austin on my channel with a Meet Austin stream. We had a lot of fun. Check that out. That was Thursday. Joe's going to do his thing with Kip tomorrow, and I'm going to be back on Monday with Zach from the Shaken Fist, and he's going to be on my channel. I've been on his channel a couple of times, so this time he's going to be at the Captive Desk, and we're going to be checking out pyramid power. All right? Can you get free power from a pyramid? Maybe.
Zach's
Maybe
one of my
not.
favorite people.
Zach's a lot of fun, and he's already excited about examining the pyramid power and the endless possibilities, beaming this power everywhere. It would be really amazing.
How close are you to 500 now, Dave?
I'm over 440 now.
Almost there.
We're getting there.
Steadily growing.
Steadily appreciate everybody that subscribes. And so check that out. Check Joe out. Then come back again, like I say, Monday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. Zach will be here, and we'll have a lot of fun talking about this, because this is really interesting stuff, and it comes from a creationist too. So you've got creationists, young Earth creationists, that worked for this guy's passed away, the one video we're looking at, but he used to write stuff for AIG, for Ken Ham. So he's a young Earth creationist into the pyramid power stuff. It's an interesting crossover. It's really fascinating. Yeah. So we're going to have a good time with that. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to Joe's talk with Kip. Kip's very learned. And what else do we got? And Joe does the Ken Ham thing every Friday at 6.
Yep. And a political show every other Thursday at 6:30.
And every other Thursday, the political. So Joe's got a bunch going on too over there. So between us, we'll keep you busy. All right.
Yeah.
And thanks, Joe, for stopping by. Thanks to all the other panelists that were here. Thanks everybody in the chat for stopping by. Appreciate everybody. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. All right?
Bye, guys.
Without a sound, history speaks in tales of lore, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, captive desk. Hold our dreams where reality and no myth seems. In conversations quiet flow, the mysteries untold will know. Legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive desk's door.